Live. Doesn't feel like Friday, man. I keep being surprised that it's Friday today. It just does not feel like tomorrow's Saturday.
Stuart, it's Friday. Friday. You've got to get down on Friday.
I would go down on Friday, but she doesn't shave, so, you know, prefer.
And for those that are curious, Wookiees have their own practices. We do not judge here on Trekyards.
The opinions expressed by Samuel do not necessarily reflect those of the
The
Trekyards
views of
team.
Stuart Foley do not necessarily reflect those of the Trekyards team.
Yeah, we need to make that caveat each time, I think.
Well, that shows you how much of a silly mood we're in slightly, guys. Normally, Stuart, there's a break. And then we're like, a brand new show of Star Trek. But we stopped talking about Star Trek Lower Decks like 20 minutes ago, it feels like. And now we're here, completely different show, completely not refreshed.
Yep, especially you, because we filmed this morning and you had to edit, and you've been
Yeah,
editing all day, and then straight to the live. And
I was editing Lower Decks until like Monday at 7, so I mean, you know what I mean? While great, we're going to see content. You guys could have given us like a month off.
Well, yeah.
Although the Star Wars guys, those are the worst guys. If they'd given us just January, Mando, January, come on. No, you wanna get in on the action. Gosh. But you know what, Stuart? Even though
I keep being surprised that it's Friday today. It just does not feel like tomorrow's Saturday.
even though, sorry, I just heard you. Yeah, even though we're still here, Stuart. We are still here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Making the content, doing the things. 60 people watching, which is great. 36 likes, also great, but we can do better than that. We can hit 50 likes easily. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Another 14 likes would be great. Let's get to 50 right away.
And I am pretty fascinated. We've been obviously Low Decks. I think none of us can argue with it was a less embraced show at the start. But guess what? If only 2 countries in the entire world can watch it, that's going to lead to a lesser viewer base. So while I think that built up over the seasons, people got to see the show, got to hear the great reviews, got to really find it. Discovery is coming with a massive amount of baggage, but also the entire world can see it. So hopefully, we'll see a lot of viewers join us in for this, fair, balanced review. Obviously, watch our edited review earlier today. It's 25 minutes. That's our condensed thoughts. But this is a long episode, a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to go scene by scene as we always do. And unlike other channels, we are going to be fair, balanced, good, bad, ugly, amazing. Because if you're not honest and you don't give credit, what's the point? What is the point?
Exactly.
I think this episode is a pretty broad bag in terms of good, bad, ugly, beautiful. I think it's a very, very broad.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would agree with that summation.
Super. So on that tease, I'm going to start sharing. So I'll see you in a moment.
Please do. And 77 people here, 57 likes. We hit our 50, which is awesome, guys. Keep going. Hit that like if you haven't. 80 people here now, so we should get 75 easily. Hit 75. We got a few super chats in to start. Well, one and a channel membership. So I want to talk about those real quick. If you want, you can have your comment read, your question answered. Super chat is a great way to do it. We make all this content for free for you guys. And if you can support the channel by asking a question or be part of the conversation, get your name read and your comment read on the air. I guess is it the air really? I don't know. Anyway, and it supports the channel as well. Also, joining the channel is a great way to help us out on a monthly basis, and we really appreciate that because that actually made a huge difference in our monthly support. So if you can, please do. We see somebody here at the Tiger Man show upgraded his membership to Admiral, which is amazing. So thank you very much. And we'll get to the super chats in a minute once Samuel's back. But yeah. So we'll do the full scene by scene breakdown. There's a lot of good in this episode, and there's a lot of meh, and there's maybe one or two. So if you can talk about anything, want us to talk about something, by all means, super chats are the great way to do that. And yeah, looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say and your thoughts on this episode, as that's very important. Don't forget to click the links down below. Check out all the stuff we have on offer in the description of every video. We got the Teespring store with Trekyards merch. We got a whole bunch of other cool stuff as well, and definitely some ways to save yourself some money and, you know, get some discount codes and things like that. That might be important for your spending habits if you're into ships and things, a la Eagle Moss. So check out those things down below. And if you want to send the PayPal, you can do that as well during the live. Just let us know that you sent it in the chat. The moderators will let us know, and then we'll read your comment or question via the PayPal email. And yeah, will there be spoiler alerts here? Or rather, there will definitely be spoilers. This is a full episode, scene-by-scene breakdown, so this is fully spoilerific. Andrew C. So,
Hello.
Crude. Hello. So we have Ozzy Medeiros, $5.
Yes.
This episode's got a 7 out of 10. All hail the superior commander and super captain Foley. Okie dokie.
Andrew C. Yes, we're doing a scene-by-scene breakdown. So
I already addressed that.
But it'd be very impossible to not do scene-by-scene spoilers. Scene 1's great. Scene 2 is not so good. Scene 3 is okay.
And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. We should do that review one time. Just like one picture from each scene that doesn't spoil it and just say, yep.
Yeah.
This scene gets a 3 out of 10. This scene gets a 7 out of 10. This scene gets a... Okay.
The Tiger Man Show upgraded his membership to Admiral, which is amazing. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
In fact, we had another upgrade.
Oh, we should salute the Admiral.
Admiral!
Salute the Tiger Man Show.
You completely win on the rank. We are now bowing down to you. If you decree us to jump, we jump, but only so high, because the gravity is set higher.
And Flerken's Galaxy, we'll get to that in just a second, our overall opinion. But Jeff Jacobs, 252, 50 in 3 minutes. Now 100 before 15 minutes. Hashtag make Jeff pay. And I think we can do that easily. We're at 6 minutes in and we have 81 likes. So 115 people here. We can easily hit 100 likes, guys. If you haven't hit like, please hit the like button.
Yeah.
Andrew C, thanks, guys. I figured you would. I was being sarcastic. You're the best. Oh, thank you.
Well, thinly veiled, but thanks. Unfortunately,
yes,
like 7 hours before the episode. It's not already released in Europe. Oh, thought it already was. Weird.
Really? Yeah, it wasn't on Crave. Wasn't on Crave yesterday. It came out on Crave last night. So it wasn't on the Canadian streaming platform. On the Thursday, it came out on the Friday, which is weird. Even though it was shown on CTV Sci-Fi Thursday night at 9 still. So,
well, guys, if you don't want spoilers, if you haven't watched it, please do come back and enjoy after the fact. These things are great. They stand the test of time and are a great retrospective as we don't know where it's going. And so it's great to go back and listen to what on earth we were smoking and thinking during each episode.
Yeah. VavaCat17
$2
puts in 100 rubles. 100 rubles sounds more impressive, though.
It does.
I like the idea that everyone in the future quantum slipstreams, it is better than warp, isn't it? Well, yeah, I assume it'd be less damaging to the subspace, like we find out in TNG. So, sure.
Although he does express in the episode. I'm glad I caught second time that the fuel he needs to go to the quantum slipstream, no one has anymore, is what he says. So they have the drive, just no fuel for it.
Yes.
Which sucks. It's like, I've got all this great tech, but I can't power any of it. God damn it. Just actually kind of a fun way of addressing the future. It's like, we invented all the tech, just can't use any of it. Great.
And Caleb Horn, $5. Discovery Season 4 starts production on November 2nd. Yeah, I just saw that today. So glad to hear that.
So the rumors of its demise were completely incorrect.
What a shock.
Well, yes, they're wrong many times in a given year. Cool. As we always say, we hope they improve each year, and hopefully this season will be the best, leading towards next season being the best, and eventually finding their feet.
Matthew Watcher throws in 22 euros.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Is book connected to the mycelium network and or Stamets? I don't know why you'd say that.
Well, if he's connected to he's connected to living things.
Oh, okay, yeah. Having said that, sure. Interesting.
I mean, that'd be a way you discovery connect it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was said by a friend who was just like, "Why has he got magic powers?" And I said, "Well, no, he's just got an implant that lets him, you know, it's just a
Yeah.
thing in the future. You know, it's just a bit of tech he has. This is 900 in the future." But if you link it direct to the Spore network, then yeah, I mean that does connect to all life. It's certainly part of the canon now. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'd buy that.
Yeah,
It's very interesting. Actually, I want to know if he's going to end up being related to Kraft somehow
I
from
know.
Calypso,
Or if he's ever
or
gonna
some
come back.
kind of connection. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
James Hoffman though, $5.
Thank you.
I wonder, with all the Starfleet ships destroyed by the burn, if an enemy like the Romulans, Dominion, or Borg took advantage and invaded the Federation. We were just talking about that earlier today. How they could slice the Federation up as they needed to, because less resistance.
Yeah, although my interpretation was they didn't destroy every single ship, because otherwise that'd be every ship in the Klingon Federation, Romulan, Gorn. I mean, that'd be trillions of lives. Every ship, civilian, every Ferengi. I mean, that'd be basically most people died and that is out in space. So obviously that's not practical. Otherwise they'd be massacre. You know, it'd be a bit sad if the Discovery team massacre a third of the galaxy.
I can see them doing it.
I know, but I can see
And
it as
I
just.
think, yeah, and I think the burn was responsible for the destruction of the ships, not just the breakdown of the dilithium. I think it was a destruction base thing.
I see it more as they cracked the crystals,
crystals.
And therefore, you know, if you're stuck 100 light years away from Earth and you can't warp, I mean, you are stuck until one of the few ships can reach you, etc. Although, yes, I mean, every ship with transwarp, with slipstream, with quantum, because they are different quantum slipstream, should be able to reach you. So, you know, ships can still go FTL. I doubt Relativity used dilithium. They used something far greater. So, if only they hadn't decommissioned those ships, they would have had ships that could easily travel. Ha ha ha. What was his other point he made? And if the Borg invaded, we would know. So
Probably,
they obviously didn't.
Yeah.
And then you don't get a sense of Romans or Dominion or Klingon had any similar. But they'd also all be gone. I mean, if the dilithium is galaxy-wide, then none of those would have warp. Romans are different, but I would say Dominion definitely have dilithium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Pew pew, punch punch, roar meow. Throws in $1 with a not impressed face.
Oh, Joe.
And last night she said her name there sums up her view of the episode. So, the Trembler throws in $10.
Oh, thank you.
I seem to like it a little more than either of you. Generally interesting post-collapse world, but Discovery's biggest weakness, plot logic, and intra-series continuity have yet to be tested.
Very true.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I point out, it's a great piece of storytelling, and it's actually very well constructed. Good sci-fi. It just doesn't feel like Trek. And I know it's the future, and all this has happened. You get that little twinge of Trekkiness at the end with Starfleet.
It's a great ending. It's a great ending.
I was really missing Discovery and the crew, and I want to see them. So hopefully see episode 2. I was
enjoying not seeing Discovery and the crew, because those make you appreciate how bad the art design is. Whereas this episode lets you appreciate what the show's trying to be. Bring that stuff in. I like the
characters.
Yeah, but they should, go through the wormhole and the ship sign changes. That'd be great. All the sets change.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
No, well, of course not.
But I like the characters. I miss the characters, and I'm not a huge fan of Burnham, and this was very Burnham centric this episode, so it was kind of for me. But Luke Celeste puts in $10.
Thank you.
I give it a 5 out of 10. Got Andromeda vibe all the way. So I call the burn. Was done by the Netchian, and I need Nietzscheans, and I need a military guy to raise my flag in my office. Sounds dirty, but
I mean, there definitely was Andromeda vibes. I mean, even the construction of the first episode is somewhat vibically the same, somewhat. Although this takes place more on a planet in a real land than lots of sets that, hold up sometimes and sometimes look a bit plasticky. As an Andromeda.
Yeah. Jeff Jacobs, $2.01. 111 minutes, 150 before 20 minutes seems doable. Hashtag make Jeff pay. 104 likes and 170 people here. So yes, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Let's get to 150.
We love you, Mark.
We can do that. Hit like. Oh, Mark Lawrence is awesome.
Another little credit though to SWTX Chaser. In a scene where Kraft does mention warp, slipstream, and the third one he mentions is what the Bajoran Solar Sailor uses.
Yes.
So I thought he rattled off more things, but it was just 3 in-universe things.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you say? Slow as shit, I think he says.
Slow as shit, which
Like,
it is.
Which it is.
Yeah.
But he can travel into system. Literally the 2 systems next to each other.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool. Be fun to see at some point.
Hellrats 96
Hellrats.
$5.
Good to see.
Hey Cap, saw your first reaction. You were very salty, and I loved it.
That.
Agree 100%. For crying out loud, give us different shuttles.
And what's funny is that there are different shuttles that are generically fine. There's also Discovery shuttles, which they included for some. I think at this point they're trolling the audience. I think they knew they're trolling with Picard. I think now they're just trying to, like, it's a symbolic fuck you, Star Trek fans, because you wouldn't. This show has a massive budget. Look at the detail they made on everything. They don't need to use those shuttles. They know better. Like, I think it's just an absolute fuck you. Like they're just trolling, you know. I can't. There's no other way to explain it. They're just deliberately being annoying.
I don't know about that, but
They can't be that incompetent, Stuart. They can't be. It's not possible.
That's the only way to explain it, I think. Anyway, SWTX Chaser $5. Didn't Earth use mostly solar power, at least in Star Trek 4? Wouldn't that mean Earth would have been not too badly hit from the burn?
Well, I mean, planets are fine. It's dilithium. Yeah, the planets are fine. But if you
except for the planets that are rich in dilithium, which their crust, their core is made of dilithium.
Yeah, they're gone. But if you can't leave the solar system, that's the problem. It's not a planet. Earth's fine. It just can't go beyond very much.
Plus, if the ships did explode as a result of the burn and the dilithium thing, everything's dilithium powered in orbit or on the surface, which would be quite a few things.
Planitia, which is already on fire. We just put the fires out. It took 600 years. They got a fire.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's the synths. Wouldn't that be a funny plot reveal? If the synths in End of Picard, hold on, they are temporal as well because obviously they're super advanced. So they reopened another portal back where they thought it was, but they got the time wrong. So they appear in the 3060s. 3060, and they cause the burn, and then they were like, damn, we got the time wrong. Oh well.
Oh, Judge 1981, $5. Captain, sensors indicate that likes are needed as well as super chats. Engineering reports it needs more support. This is true. This is all very true. Thank you for the report.
Engineering reports. Come on.
Mark Lawrence is amazing with $5. Dropping in to support the channel and say hi. Busy day at work right now. Well, hope you have a good day, Mark. And hopefully the busyness is good. Keeps your mind occupied and your day's over quicker. So.
And hey, at least you got work. Happy to hear that. Yeah. As I always am. What do you say?
The Trembler, $5. Did Romulus forget how to make singularity-based warp drive? And if they didn't, couldn't others steal the tech? I think the show will cover this. Okay, the Trembler. The quantum singularity drive, that is just the power source. We're not sure exactly how they do it, but Federation does not use dilithium for power. They use deuterium to power the warp cores. The dilithium crystals are used to focus the reaction inside the chamber and create the plasma streams.
And you don't need dilithium to create low-end warp, like low end.
Zephram Cochrane did not have dilithium crystals on the Phoenix, and you can do warp 1, I think up to warp 2, 3-ish without dilithium.
Yeah.
At least warp 2.
And if you've got the tech of warp 9.975 engines, I'm sure you can kit bash your way into going to warp 2 without dilithium. It's just if you're the problem again is if you're 2 months away at warp 9, at warp 2 you're 5 years. You know, it becomes exponential, and if you haven't got enough power to generate, although you do have power, because also if you haven't got stable fast warp, you can't find supplies quick enough to then replenish. So you will run out of deuterium if you can't travel to close enough sources. You can't store enough to keep the reaction going fast enough. Yeah.
So the burn. Okay. So Burnham went 930 years in the future. We found out that the burn happened 120 years prior to that.
120.
810 years after discovery.
Hmm.
All right. So you think in 810 years, the Federation might have refined their warp process to not require dilithium. And he does mention a dilithium recrystallizer,
Hmm.
which we know was a thing that eventually came about in TNG, that they could do that. Um, we we hear about it in also Discovery, unfortunately, because of the princess and the planet
Yep,
that can do
invented
it.
it 100 years earlier. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a little bit bullshit that the burn would affect all the Federation ships, because I think they would have moved past the use of
Well,
dilithium.
they have Slipstream and Voyager. Voyager brings home Slipstream tech.
Exactly.
I mean, they
So
have Slipstream. It might not be on every ship, and you might need dilithium for Slipstream, although I doubt it. But it might just be a case of you still rely on dilithium as your primary power source, and you can't power Slipstream, whatever. I think honestly it's just lack of resources. If you can't get out there to collect more resources you can't replicate,
yeah,
your resources run out too quick. So that's why they say in the episode it's not so much the Federation gets destroyed, it just slowly becomes less of a thing as their resources dwindle, and then obviously you can't explore, you can't go out. I mean, it's a very clever, simple loss, exponential running out of resources, which is interesting, you know. But yes, Romulan should be totally different. And like Stuart, do we think the Borg used dilithium? I don't think the Borg used dilithium, so they're
they don't
fine.
have.
You know,
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
A472, I doubt it. I mean, the Vaudois, you know, all these alien races. Why would they? You know.
And I'm sure they'll cover something like that
Oh,
in there. So
yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll see like some Romulan ships flying by, and they'll be like, "God damn it!"
Will Serby, 5 pounds. Looks like a good start. Will be nice to see if it continues. I am curious about the Vengeance style saucer in the opening brief. Yeah, me too. The Trembler, $5. Also, thanks to JJ, Scotty Prime mostly completed the transwarp beaming formula. Do you think? Did no one think to finish the work on that?
That's true.
I would assume so. I would hope so.
That's true.
But
that's a great point, actually. Since I mean, we know the tech can transport between. Again, you can't take the book as canon because the book's not canon. They can beam from Earth to Kronos in one beam. So if you can transport beam, again, you need power to generate it. But yeah, that's the problem with JJ and everything post JJ. They kind of guys, spore drive. Do you really think if dilithium stops being a thing, do you really think they're not going to go back and look at the records and see, oh yeah, 800 years ago we classified a thing called spore drive. Let's look at that again. Seriously, I mean, wow.
Unless it was just so lost in the files that it just was forgotten about. But anyway.
Or time suits. Build more damn time suits. You know, steal some time crystals.
Vavacat17 puts in 100 rubles.
There you go.
Deliberately trolling. I think that's what you call the astromech droids and the turbolift shafts inside huge emptiness. Bet we see it again. Yeah, that maybe. Yeah.
You know what we're going to see at one point? We're going to see a TOS shuttle in the show, but it's going to have 3 decks and like a massive master bedroom. Just to, I know other work could be inside as well, the shuttle bay. We'll be like,
we're going to see a turbolift ride, and in the background, you're going to see the original TOS Enterprise just cruising inside the ship. So.
Oh, the ship. It's like a little drone that you can drive. Like
yeah. But it looks exactly the same as the real Enterprise.
Yeah.
Super Coops, 5 pounds. When will they change the name to Star Trek Burnham? So tired of this character. Perhaps someone else could get some quality screen time for a change. I agree.
But she was better this episode. Give them credit. They're resetting the
character. That. You think so? I disagree with you, but that's okay.
No, having, disliked the character, not in an active way, just she's not a very good character. She was better this week. Absolutely.
I'm usually willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I just couldn't stand her in this episode. I loved her high. That was funny. But
yeah. Great choice of the director to actually have the camera follow her eyes at the motion blur. That was a really good visual trick.
She became a murderer, just murdering people she doesn't even know. Guys she doesn't really know.
We'll get to that scene.
Pew pew, punch punch, roar meow. $2. Lots of people in chats thought Sahil was a hologram. Yeah, we did too initially. We had a whole video talking about that. hologram or android, and I still think he might be. He seems a little bit too perfect and put together, and just sitting there really for 40 years every day, waiting for somebody to come in to say, welcome to
I
Starfleet.
mean, to be fair, he probably has holograms he talks to every day, just weren't on all the time.
Maybe. But
I kind of like he's not a hologram. Now we've seen his acting. But I thought he was one of the best parts of the episode. And like I say, that scene... I keep telling you, we need the icing on the cake scene after a lot of these scenes where there's something extra to bring up. And that whole last 6 minutes just raised the whole episode up. Just really...
yes.
Like the 09 through the water.
Yeah. That was definitely the best part of the episode for me. So, Scott Purdy puts in 2 pounds. Just arrived. Do you think Mars is still on fire? We were just talking about that. Maybe they put it out after 600 years. Samuel said, "Who knows?"
Supercoop said the Romans still use dilithium crystals. That's why they had dilithium mines on Remus. They weren't dilithium.
It's true.
Were they dilithium mines?
Yes, they were. Yep. And it's just to focus the reaction within inside the chamber. The quantum singularity is just for the power source. So I would totally buy that they use dilithium.
Although those mines would have been from 300 years ago, and only the best ships are going to use the quantum singularity drives anyway.
You'd think so, yeah.
So you're still going to mine it for every other class of vessel. So irrespective to new ships using them. And besides, they got blown up anyway, so it's irrelevant. I'm sure they worked in part. They obviously worked past it.
Yeah. Cold-blooded 1977 puts in €5. Cheers, guys. Well, thank you.
Cheers, Mr. Blood.
Cheers to you. Chris Carlin, £5.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. First time super chatter. Well, welcome and thank you very much. The effects of the show are fantastic. Mm-hmm. The effects of the show are fantastic, but counts for nothing when you just don't care for the main character. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, it gets better. I think it jumps drastically when they have a sense of focus. When she finds him and they do something together. Once she's a twosome, she's better, and the focus is better. That's why the second half is better than the first half.
Yeah.
But the effects were good.
He pointed that out, that each season she needs somebody there to be with her, to make her a good person, or at least a good character.
To bounce off of her. I mean, Spock was the best thing for her, because it meant that the crew could do their own thing in their own episodes, and not have her woman-splain, Burnham-splain, and solve every problem, despite there being engineering solutions. She's a test pilot, she's a warrior, she's this, she's that. So have her do her own thing with Spock allowed her to do her own thing with someone else, and them to do their own thing and be strong. So same thing here, and it's going to benefit, because Book knows the world, she doesn't. Like, that's good. It's an imbalance, but he's also a good guy, so it works well. They're a good pairing. And also both somewhat uncharismatic. Like, they're both on a similar medium, so they kind of work together on a similar plane.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like Mr. Suave, but he's good, and she's not Mr. Suave, but she can also play it quite strong. So they're both a good medium.
Yeah. Holford XYZ puts in $10.
Thank you.
Do you think we'd get even a throwaway snap of a future Enterprise, KL, etc., as perhaps the last flagship before the burn? It would be a nice anchor for the fans. Well, that last little thing you said, nice anchor for fans, definitely rules that out, because they won't do it then.
Discovery shuttles that are 950 years old.
They don't give a shit about that. So I don't think we're going to get an Enterprise. It's too much. That's too much fan service for Discovery for sure.
Well, and besides
we will get flashbacks, I think, to the burn happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Using Discovery ships, which at that point were 810 years old, but whatever.
Well, I think, anyway, if we did have an Enterprise, it'd probably be the Enterprise AA. Because the alphabet's not big enough, you know what I mean? Like, some Enterprises last 10 years. It's been 900.
Alien alphabets. It's the Enterprise, the symbol.
Enterprise Unk. We're going to Egyptian. And besides, honestly, we know this production team are bad at designing ships. They are. So let's not give them an official Enterprise. Sorry. I don't want to see any Enterprises, any like Akira refits, nothing in this team. Mark McMahon team, sure, have fun. No, not this team. Absolutely. Same with the Picard team. Do not introduce us to Enterprise. Please do not.
Yeah. Hell Rats 9D6. What's $5? I wonder, did the burn only affect the Federation? What about the Klingons and other races using dilithium? Also, shuttles use warp. So all boom? I would say yes. I think all the races would have been affected by this. The whole quadrant. I think it would have been very widespread.
I mean, I think it will fundamentally be a weapon by an alien race or a thing that went wrong, and so I think it'll only affect only the alpha and beta quadrants. I think delta is fine because it'd be weird if they basically in a sense retcon that every race in the entire galaxy is now stuck. But again, slipstream. Again, the Borg aren't, so they're transport conduits. But yeah, I think definitely everyone in our major quadrants, all major races, except those that. But it's also the mega future, and it's post-temporal Cold War with all the temporal tech, where you can travel anywhere. I mean, the relativity can go anywhere in space and time, so you don't need classic warp drive with dilithium. You'll have lots of other ways of traveling, lots of other races. We don't know how the universe is in the 2900s, let alone the 3100s. So it's you can't think of it like TNG. It's a completely different universe.
And watch this. It's going to be Discovery that causes the burn.
Yeah.
Trying to fix it, uncover it. It's going to be something stupid like that. Because like I said, once Discovery shows up, if they still have dilithium intact, they're going to be a target because dilithium is so rare. People are going to come after Discovery for the dilithium.
Yeah,
or
he has a dilithium recrystallizer, and he's not a rich man, so it's you can keep it stable. You can get it. It's not like it's too hard.
The book doesn't have one. He asked her if she had one.
No. He did have one, and it broke on the impact. I just watched it.
It was broken. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did have one.
That's what I was saying.
So he did have one, which means but it means he did have one. He's not a rich guy, so you can get a dilithium restabilizer, and he's not like a rich guy.
I think them having real dilithium on board is going to be either something that's beneficial for them, that
Well, they can trade it,
or it's going to make them the target, or they're going to trade it, or they're going to need dilithium, and since it's so rare to find, it's going to be one of the MacGuffins of the season.
Yeah, what if actually they've got dilithium from the past, which dilithium got corrupted by a virus, and their dilithium predates that dilithium, so they can use it to grow new dilithium.
Solve the problem, yeah.
I mean that'd be a good way of doing it. Have Discovery save the future by just having stuff from the past. That's kind of nice. Although I'm sure Michael Burnham will save the future. She'll save the galaxy once and the wars. Of course, she'll be the one that undoes the galactic dilithium crisis. It's Michael Burnham.
Yep.
She always solves these things.
Ozzy Medeiros, $5.
Hi,
Badgie was in the suit. He had to reboot the suit. Badgie will teach you a lesson. Skeleton hands. James McGill, $2. Like how advanced the tech is, but still feels Star Trek. The transporters, sure, yeah.
Well, it feels like Discovery Star Trek, and that's the problem.
Yeah, which we'll get into. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. I'll hold judgment. It wasn't bad, but not good. Well, it's part 1 of 2, so I want to see part 2 before I make a decision, kind of.
Yeah. Dave
Stelzer, $2. Best part, don't give the truth gas to Tilly. Yeah, I got a friend who's red hair. Do not give her this. The STEM support throws in $7 Canadian. All FTL, warp slipstream, still needs energy. Matter, antimatter is best. Need dilithium, no FTL. Travel because not enough energy. No, dilithium is not the power source for warp drive.
It's the focusing crystal to stabilize a reaction. One of many ways of stabilizing a reaction.
Yes.
It's just a very efficient way.
Don't need dilithium for warp drive, because if you did, Jeff and Cochrane wouldn't be able to create warp drive because there's no dilithium on Earth.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, and besides, you can have artificial dilithium. Because they do things like, doesn't Wesley invent a weird side thing, or somebody invents a partial dilithium, And besides, I don't think the Dauntless had dilithium for its slipstream drive. It had other alien cool tech.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not the end all be all.
Yep. Matthew DeFreitas, $5. In season 2, Burnham was a know-it-all. I enjoyed that she was a fish out of water. I actually wanted to follow her story. Oh, and I saved all the things. That was funny.
We said that. Also, quick side note. I know this is sort of canon, but also sort of not. Rick Sternbach, when we talked about Prometheus episode, the saucer module hasn't got a warp core. It's still got 2 warp units, which can warp sustain. But we asked him, could it also go to warp? He said, absolutely, up until warp 3. So even with fusion power and no warp engines, the guy that designed it, Rick Sternbach understands Star Trek tech more than any of you. He says it could go, and that's okay. It's cutting edge of 24th century, so absolutely low end warp is fine with no dilithium. Absolutely.
Yep.
Unless you read Memory Alpha and just read it because you're not a Star Trek fan who's wrote the show.
Right, and I don't think they know enough about dilithium. They think dilithium's a power source, probably the people
Well,
that wrote this
they
show.
they thought we could recrystallize it pre-TOS.
I know. I know. Not a band
Stuart,
account, $5.
I'm having fun. This is fun.
Yeah.
Click like right now.
Yeah, we're 136 likes with 232 watching, guys.
Brilliant.
That's pathetic. Let's get to
Oh,
150 at least.
brilliant views though.
But we can get to 200.
We can.
Come on, guys. Hit
Come
like
on,
if you
guys.
haven't hit like. So let's see. Not a band account, $5. The Burn copies plot from the canceled Final Frontier cartoon. United Federation plans was broken up by subspace disaster. Omega particles bombed in Federation space. Yes, that's the unused show idea that had the weird, funky Enterprise that was going to be in it with like a square saucer thing. Anyway, Judge 1981 throws in $2. Is the temporal Cold War really over? Possibly. It could still be going on, but I think who knows? Who knows?
Well, the way time travel works, it's only over at the present. In the past, it's still on. Relatively, it's still flying around all parts of space because it's out of time. So it's still going on, except in the present. Because it's still happening after Discovery, but also before Discovery Season 3. So, yeah, it's still happening.
The Trembler, $5. The end of temporal wars and Burn had to be close by a few decades. How likely do you think there's a link? Or is it just a hand-waving, no time tech? I think it's just a no more time tech allowed. So there's like, we have this idea that you can't just go to the store and buy a time suit. They can just make one, though. They have the...
Well, Discovery has all the schematics.
Exactly.
They can make it that day. And they can spore drive to whatever the planet was called. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know? And then Burnham can go back. I mean, hey, to be fair, they might make another time suit. Burnham go back and literally stop the burn. I mean, she could do it. Very little stopping her. But I think Temporal Cold War was just to reference it and go past it. Although I have the feeling, not that if I was linking to canon, I would say that there's a Temporal Cold War faction that was more of a, let the world burn literally. So they went forward in time, which is not the point of Temporal Cold War. It's to go back in time and change the past. They went to the future, messed up the future, then they got outlawed, but they still messed up the future. So I kind of said they actually artificially destroyed the future, which I thought would be quite an interesting concept. Weird concept, but I mean, yeah.
Good tea, nice house, $5.
Best house.
Yes. I must be in the minority. I hated the last 6 minutes. I was expecting more from the Asgardian gatekeeper character. Big letdown. He wasn't an officer. I love that part. I thought that was
beautiful. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It felt, for only having known him for about 4 minutes of screen time, it felt earned.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Like, great, brilliant. And now he'll be, have a badge on, have a rank on, and be all like, yes, Commander Burnham. Just because I'm 20 years older than you.
Judge 1981, $5. Wait, something from the past saving the future? Where have I heard this before?
Andromeda.
Right.
But
Matthew K, $5. Just got here, so you may have talked about this. Book said the Gorn destroyed 2 light years of subspace. Omega molecule, maybe.
Well,
no, I think... Because it's right after he says, do you think punching holes in subspace is a good idea when he's talking to her about the wormhole? My guess is the Gorn are maybe trying a new experimental, instead of warp drive, because no dilithium, they're trying to use wormholes or something, and they destroyed a whole section of space experimenting with it.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's, wormholes are very, very effective. Have you seen Star Trek? But yeah, it was a good name drop, and it's good. And I can imagine she might get actually that might be a hint to when she finds the bigger branch of Starfleet. They might say, Commander Burnham, you're under arrest for an unauthorized wormhole. Wormholes are all, and also time tech, to be fair. She's actually she's probably done illegal actions. You came through time and wormhole. You're going to space jail.
Yes. The Trembler, $5. The Burn semi-solves this, but while you can ban some time tech, how do you ban slingshotting around a star? Required software and ships? Hackable? It's not precise, and it's something that I don't know. It just seems risky. But
Yeah, in
whatever.
Convergence, my fan film, we do a slingshot, and I explicitly say in dialogue that Spock's calculations were 1 in 1,000,000. He happened to do the 1 in 1,000,000. He was lucky, and luck is something most people don't have. And so they send dozens of ships back in time. They've all failed, so probably not worth keep trying it. Like it's technically possible, but you've got to get everything absolutely right and be lucky. But you are right. I mean, a bird of prey can do it. I mean, you know,
But it was Spock's calculations.
yeah, yeah. But it's true. MacGuffin of or Guardian of Forever. That would be a nice touch for Guardian of Forever at some point. Although obviously knowing them, it'd be like a 9-foot, it'd be like a 35-foot tall glowing red thing that some weird because obviously they have to redesign it, aren't they? It'll be a square. It'll be a square because they'll have to redesign.
No, it'll be a ring, and it's like
Called Halo.
Chevron 1 is locked.
Announcing the official Stargate crossover. And Dr. Jackson walks through, and it's just like, what?
Well, it's a Stargate, but for times instead of planets.
It's a time gate.
Yeah. All right, Hellrats 96, $10.
Oh, thank
With
you.
the evil AI centric Disco season 2 and Picard season 1, do you think we'll get more of that? Like that was the source of the burn. Warp core equals wristwatch. Dilithium equals quartz. Yes, exactly. The watch. The watch is exactly. Quartz is like makes it refined, makes it perfect time. Doesn't get 5 minutes fast in an hour.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Tomato.
But let's see, we got here. So synths. Do you think they were get more of that? Like they're responsible for the burn? No. You did see Federation robots in the opening title, which will be important at some point.
I think they're going to ignore it because do you really want 3 seasons in a row of evil AIs destroying the future?
No.
Or present? I mean, it's kind of remarkable. The exact same plot happened in Discovery Season 2 and Picard Season 1. That's kind of absurd, really, when you think about how similar they are in basics. Let's go past evil AI. We'll go past that.
Craig S23 puts in £4. Discovery previously known as Star Trek. Yep.
Yeah, we are past the Star Trek period of Star Trek, as in the universe.
And Jeff Jacobs, $2, 150 onto 200. If it is not blue, you did not do. We have 163 likes with 245 people here. Guys, we can easily hit 200. So hit the like button.
Alyssa Jericho has a really great point, though. The time cops are useless in the Discovery universe, though.
Yes, they are.
Is fair enough, although they never existed until after Control was destroyed. So once Control was destroyed in pre-TOS, then the universe existed normally, allowed for TOS, allowed for TNG, allowed for Voyager, allowed for relativity. So they had them first, and then they chose not to go back and solve the that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit confusing.
Let's see. Jason O says it's a dramatic take on Trek, bro. LOL. That's fine. It's a dramatic take on Trek, but it's not
DS9.
Prime. But it's not Prime Universe. It's obviously
First
different.
Contact.
Yeah.
So is Nemesis. So is Star Trek 6.
James Luke. Luce. James Luce. That's how you pronounce it. I remember now. $10.
Thank you.
How about we have a Tilly discovering the answer and finding the original Excelsior in a space museum and fixes transwarp drive. Oh, man.
You know what it'd be? I know this is not how the scene worked, but wouldn't it be great if she walks into the engineering room and she looks like underneath the floor because there's a little bit of a crack, and she finds those 3 chips that Scotty took out. She's like, they're there the whole time. I know that's not what the scene is, but most people don't know what the scene. That'd be just visually, that'd be a funny gag, I think.
Yeah.
They're behind the sofa the whole time.
Judge 1981, $5. The commander has so much glee for reviewing this. It's nice to see him so spry.
Have I? Well, that's good. I mean, I'm trying to be balanced, as you know, Stuart. But I find balance very important.
Yeah. And Judge 1981, another $5. Captain, engineering reports more likes needed. Seems that our super chats need a boost too, sir. Yes, with 30 more likes would be great.
Mm.
And yeah, we finally caught up to the super chat, so we can actually start reviewing the episode now.
It doesn't only happen though in these big ones. Don't we take an hour to get into it. So Stuart, what did you think of season 3, episode 1?
Oh, we have to go through all this seriously. Let's just start reviewing it.
Briefly.
It was mediocre for me. I didn't care about Burnham. I don't give a shit. And the last 6 minutes were good. There you go. It could have been better, and it just didn't.
But it wasn't bad.
After just watching 10 weeks of Lower Decks, this was bad.
But in comparison to Discovery, because we got
this
to
was
back
all
to
right.
that playing field.
This was good. It was a good start to season 3. A lot of people have been saying online that, this is such a great setup. It's going to be such a great thing. It's like, well,
We saw season 2 though, and season 1 of Picard, so we know what those writers are like. They can't stick a landing.
And as you say, yeah, setups are great until they're not. When the payoff fails, it ruins it all.
But maybe 4th time's the charm when it comes to sticking a landing. Now, Michael Mann did it in 1, but maybe these guys will do it in 4. Yeah.
No, I really doubt it.
My overall thoughts, I actually enjoyed it more second time round. Once you hear the end of the dialogue, the universe building's pretty good. Burnham's better in this episode because she's not playing Burnham really anymore. She's playing a much more free character, which is nice. She's less strong, less powerful, but still correctly kick-ass. The art design just feels like Discovery Season 2. Doesn't feel like Future almost at all. In fact, even I was thinking those drones that are flying around in the place just feel like the drones from Season 2 of Discovery. Like, you've already had flying drones, so there's nothing... There's very little new technology here. The only thing I'll give him is the chair that folds out of the floor. That was cool. That was a good way to start the episode. It's a better generic sci-fi than a Star Trek episode, mostly because there's very little Star Trek to it. And if you moved maybe 5 elements, like in Photoshop, like if you could track it, you could take out all the Star Trek from it, and like redubbed her saying the Confederation a la Renegades. You could easily remove all the Star Trek from it. But as a premise, it was not bad, and I think the ending really was a good sign. All of Discovery is negative, is dark, is sad, is death, is titties, Klingon titties, and double penis peeing, ruining, hurting the universe. But this, while damaging the Federation, gives us hope, and hope is a very Star Trek thing. So there's potential, but I said that last year too.
Yeah. Michael Williams says, question, is Princess can magically make the lithium crystals as a species still on Discovery? No. She was in her own little fighter thing when Discovery went through the wormhole in season 2. Yeah. Oh my god. Tuning 3434, €2. Original Excelsior, Captain Sulu hologram. No. I would not care.
But it'd be Admiral Sulu. Because his future timeline, you could have Admiral Sulu.
Yeah. Hellrats 96, $5. I can see it now. They use Disco as a blueprint to rebuild Starfleet, and they all use spore drives.
Yeah? I mean...
Sure.
I mean, talk about Federation wanting tech that will let them get back on top. I mean, spore drive, are you kidding? It was too much at the time. So imagine in a world where we can't use warp properly. Gosh.
Yeah.
You can grow your own fuel.
Judge 1981 throws in $50. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Captain,
Crazy.
Reports of a Jeffrey tube monster may be inbound. Likes would definitely put it back in fluidic space, or to fluidic space. Okay, guys, we need 23 more likes to get to 200. It's easy to do. We have 247 people here. 23 of you have not hit like. Please hit that like button. Let's get those up. And can we start the review now?
Absolutely. So first thing, holographic bird. It's both silly and fun in equal measure.
Neat idea for sure. And I love how the bed just becomes it's like nanites.
This was futuristic.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a great start to the season. This scene, great.
Yes.
Solid.
Perfect thing to say. Nick Weg, $5. Love the chat, guys. Without spoiling anything, previews moving forward indicate far more ensemble feel. Hope that's true for the whole season. Yeah, I would agree. I've heard rumors that episode 2 is going to be the Discovery, and then episode 3 is going to be them getting reunited. So
now I was intrigued by this. Now we can pause on it. Searching for signals, but he's got multiple blocks in the thing. Are they destroyed star systems? Because they're not showing data; they're just like blocks of sort of grey.
Hold on, I gotta get there.
Because I was wondering, like, what's he searching for specifically? I guess just anything.
Ships. I think he's searching for ships.
But there's a lack of stuff here, but also that's why I thought he was waiting for the Discovery signal or Red Angel, as if Michael Burnham is now the savior of the universe again. Luckily, that's not what happened. That's kind of what this feels like, but it goes by so quick. But yeah, brilliant intro. Can't really fault it. Good bit of sci-fi, and then you get a USS. Sad.
John Ford, $5.
Oh.
This would have been a better series opener. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that.
I will start with episode 1 of season 1. Yeah?
Yes.
But instead, it's a slingshot. That would have been even better. Someone risked a maneuver, then you don't need to invent technology. But then, Stuart, weirdly enough, a cross between the Orville Kalon ship and the jellyfish attacks a blade, a flying blade, in a very Star Wars-like battle, or J.J. Abrams. It's very dark, very motion blurry, and you can barely tell what's happening in terms of shapes.
Good way to disguise your ugly art design.
Well,
make it motion blurred.
It's been a season 1 trope. Yeah.
Yes, very dark. That being said, the inside of the book ship is cool. I love his little nanite. The control panels, that's kind of neat as well.
I mean, it's one of the only futuristic things this entire show. Everything else just feels like Discovery era, which is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that view screen, and Stuart, you should watch our review of the ship. I compared this view screen to the USS Enterprise Discovery era view screen, and they are almost identical. Color palette, vibe, clearly the same art guy made them. It's either books using a 900-year-old display interface, or guess what, you pushed it too far, there's nothing more you can do. Because imagine if you were the art designer, right, and you were told, design the future for Discovery. Great, we did it. Okay, you design the future, right? Yeah. Design 900 years further future. And they're like, oh, but I already did the full future. Yeah, do it again, but more. And they're like, well, I don't have any ideas, so here it is again. Oh, that's brilliant. That's what I did last season. Doesn't matter, it's still the future. It's like, yeah, big letdown, guys. It should have been, don't know.
But books being chased by this guy named Cosmo, which is a stupid, unimaginative name, but anyway.
Oh, I like the understands the alien language. Like, I like there's no translation block. It's just like, yep, I understand people. It's fine.
He stole his cargo, but it's its own cargo. Expand your mind, whatever. And it's not a Uridian. It is a Betelgeusian, a Begazilin, whatever. It's a species that was in the motion picture that they brought back for this. So
brilliant.
Just point that out. It does look like an Iridian, though. Just saying.
Well, it could be neighbors.
Maybe he's part Iridian. Who knows? It's the future, after all.
It is the future. And then the wormhole opens up right now. This is Terra Elysium because that's where she was going, but obviously the universe has changed since the mum was there, which also implies that the mum is somewhere here because she also went back into the future. Although since they hadn't yet defeated Control, she's probably going. Yeah, the mum's probably in the alternate future, which doesn't exist anymore, but she's still there, so she's an alternate timeline. But yes, the wormhole opens up. They're like, "What the hell?" Bumps into him and knocks his power off, I guess, because you see him sort of both get gravitationally pulled towards a planet. Very into darkness sort of scene, but it's a good little scene.
And Discovery's already got problems because their couriers are stealing cargo and hitting 1,000-year-old women in space.
It's a good line.
Wait a minute, that's said later. The STEM support throws in $7. Thank you. If we could just go back to bloody beam weapons, that alone would feel more Star Trek in a Star Wars. Pew pew. Yeah. I love how he says that. Yet he was the one that commented like early in the chat. Like, can't wait for us to bitch about this for our bitch fest to start.
We haven't mentioned that at all, have we?
No, actually. No, we haven't mentioned that for a while.
Well, okay.
Thank you for the chat. Appreciate it.
That is awesome. Okay, give him. Again, we're balanced here. You mentioned a good line. This script this week is genuinely better than last season. I think the scripting has improved. I think that is absolutely better this year, which is good. If the premise still isn't the best thing ever, you can only take that so far, but the scripting is definitely better, I think. They've got better.
Yeah. BIMRAM ×3, Trekyards, what do you think happened to Earth? Well, we will find out because I think they find Earth by the looks of it because they see Discovery pulling up to a blue planet and it's like...
That's exciting.
There she is. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it'll feel like the episode of Andromeda where they find out one planet that says a full Commonwealth fleet, and it's just like, yes, and then it changes the whole show.
James McGill, $2. Orions and Andorians look canon, but will Klingons? Dun dun dun.
Well, they look Discovery canon. They're just the changed versions. So based on that logic, the Klingons look like Discovery Klingons. Although I wonder if we can see. I mean, I don't know. They threw us Cardassian and Morn people without any sort of fan service, like fanfare. So they might throw us Klingons just in the background. So maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, this is the future, so they can change them a bit.
The STEM support $4. Love you guys, but just being cheeky. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tim asks, what was the name of the ship in the debris field? It specifically finished at NCC and USS. Exactly at that point, so there is no name. Yep. It was a good little artistic choice of nope, we're not going to go that far.
James Luce, $10.
Thank you.
Tin Man species rediscovered. Crusher teaches everyone how to travel. Romulan quantum singularity tech. Farpoint station aliens. How many faster than light techs could we turn to? So many. So many.
And especially in 120 years. I mean, this is 800 years in the future. We have all the tech to design all the other tech. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Danny Shields, €5. Samuel, you're about as balanced as Fox News. Oh.
That's pretty insulting, actually.
That's really rude.
That's kind of nasty.
I would disagree wholeheartedly on that. Don't worry, Samuel. Keep doing what you're doing because you do a good job.
We're counterpointing each other. Now this scene I didn't like with the suit. I like the CGI moment she pulls it off her because it's so seamless. Like this CGI team cares what they're doing more than the Picard team. It's the same team, but they obviously have more money and more time. Very seamless. I didn't like the way it was filmed though. It was super shaky and super grey. I just felt like I don't care.
There was a lot of camera shake in this episode, especially in the marketplace.
Well, yeah.
There was some really bad stuff there, but yeah.
I thought this scene was really obnoxious because of that. It was just extra. Like, it was messy. I know she's feeling messy, but it wasn't nice to watch. I know it's not meant to be nice to watch, but I didn't enjoy watching the scene. Yeah.
Let's see what happens next. I'm still trying to catch up picture-wise. The suit flies off of her, and it looked kind of odd the way she stood there, and she stood there like too long. But it was fine. And then the strangest thing happens, and I didn't know why she did this. Well, first of all, she tries to contact Discovery, which is fine. That makes perfect sense. But then the announcement that the wormhole is closing. Well, that actually doesn't happen first. She pulls up the suit's hologram thing and finds out if there's life signs on the planet, which there are.
And she screams in joy.
Meanwhile, they're probably just the life signs of the people that you just hit on that ship that just crashed over there. You dumb shit.
Yeah,
or a herd of cattle. You don't know what they are yet. Like seriously.
Yeah, I would have said scan for Starfleet signatures or something. And just the fact that this hologram looks exactly as advanced as Book's hologram later tells you that they've broken the visual continuity, because this is incredibly advanced looking. I mean, do you really think this is pre-TOS tech, guys? Do you really think it's pre-TOS? No,
okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. This was based on her mom's angel suit, which was from the future.
No, they built it in the past.
But she went to the future, so maybe she upgraded I'm trying to play devil's advocate. So
you're saying the mum gave them the new design? Because they built it from the schematics in the database that they were given from the past.
Maybe she enhanced it in the future, and this is more futuristic.
I've said so many times, the mum should have been from the future. She came back, gave the technology of the time suit, that allowed them to build it. That was the easy solve of that problem. But this scene's interesting because I don't think she would have yelled like this in season 1 or season 2. I remember, Vulcan parents.
Yeah,
discipline.
That's true.
It's so un-Burnham. Now I get it's this catharsis of but it just doesn't feel like the Burnham we know, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, then the wormhole is closing, and she's like, no, and she's got to like do this thing, and I'm like, why is she doing that? And then the suit jumps off, takes off, and goes through the wormhole, and is gone. And it took me 2 watches, and then I rewatched it the 3rd time with Sylvia with the last time on Discovery. Mm-hmm. And right before this scene, or right before they go into the show, it's like, I'll send you a signal, Spock, to let you know that we're fine. Mm-hmm. And that's why she did it, because the wormhole was closing. She wanted to signal to Spock that she was fine, even though she's not. She's on an unknown planet, doesn't know if she's going to be fine, doesn't know where Discovery is, so she shouldn't be doing this yet. Hold on to the suit. It's a goddamn time travel suit. You can send it back whenever you need to, even if you have to hold on to it for 10 years until you find more time crystals. Whatever.
Because it's got shields that can survive a crash into a planet from the atmosphere. Like this
After
thing,
just rebooting.
This thing is, and it's also got sensors that can scan the entire planet. This is the most advanced thing since, like, until TNG. You joking? And she does not say the time crystal isn't working anymore or decharged. For all we know, in the context of this scene, it can still travel in time. They say it's a one-way trip, but I'm not necessarily convinced, because since the mum can still do unlimited travels of time, and she only has one time crystal, etc. And that was the prototype one as well.
But it explains this scene, because I was really confused why she did this. I was really confused. But anyway.
Basically, it was we knew we made an overpowered thing we can't have again. Let's get rid of it straight away. Okay, done. It was that. Yep. It was just, got to get rid of it. We're getting rid of it. But at least the plot hole of how did she send the signal back, given that she's stuck in the future? The answer is she sends it back in time instantly. It's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that was easy. Sure.
The STEM support puts in $7. I think her elation here is due to the fact that there was life at all.
Yep.
Confirmed her mission succeeded. Control did not succeed wiping out all life. Good point. I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right, because that was the worry that Control is going to wipe out all life in the galaxy. Mm-hmm. And her mission was successful. Yeah, okay, I would buy that. I did not consider that at first.
Although, again, it should have been scan for facial signatures, stuff is detected. Okay, great. Any life, sure, is great.
It could have been plant life underneath the surface or something like.
Yeah.
George Mangrum, $5. Burnham wouldn't have known anything was alive on that ship. Could have been Control for all she knew.
Sure.
Yeah. The Trembler, $5. Scan for life signs. Life signs detected on planet human, Andorian, Orion.
Yeah.
Then she can scream. Yes, I would agree with that. 1,000%. That would have been a lot better. Just a little bit of dialogue change.
Yeah. But the thing leaves. She has a last round of suit tech, which I like. The Military Ration call out. I found the badge a little bit obnoxious, calling out Michael Burnham's serial number, but it does pay off at the end, so I get it. Well,
she's reinforcing, but even though she's alone right now, she's still, yeah.
But it's just, she was with her entire crew 3 minutes ago. Like, you know what I mean? It's been a year for us, but it's been seconds for her. You know what I mean? But yes, and then I do kind of like this stand up and walk. Although since we just established the suit was absolutely fine, why are you hurt? Given the suit was absolutely fine, it survived a collision. Why are you? And then you're fine a minute later. So I guess you were hurt a little bit.
I love this part where she's like, "Stand up, stand up," and she's grunting and stuff, because I have to do that every morning to get out of bed. Get out of bed. I'm sorry, I don't want to. Just do it. And you get up, and once you're standing, you're fine. I kind of laughed out loud at that. Yeah. And I love how she puts her badge on crooked, and I'm like, it's going to be straight the next scene. Nope, stays crooked, which I appreciate.
Okay, never noticed that. I like it.
Yeah.
But then you get to our sequence, but we're going to skip that. Video coming out soon. Then you have some very, very good visual effects of the integration of Book's ship with the scene. Really, really well done. Like, expertly done. Even to the point that you're wondering, is she even really there? And yes, she is. But it's just so well done. Yeah. Well done.
Hold on. Just got to catch up there.
Yeah.
For some reason this is being laggy. But yeah, she finds the ship, and then it kind of disappears, and Book attacks her. And you get a nice little fight with the two of them.
Mm-hmm. I love the line, we're fighting. No, you're fighting me. That's great. That's a great line. It's like, no, I stood here. You attacked me. I'm just blocked. I'm moving. You're attacking me. Lovely version of a line. And even the way she kind of wins feels organic and no, it's a good thing. I like how he makes the ship cloak so that they don't have to CGI it behind them for this sequence. They save like a $300,000 by just doing that one little effect, which I quite liked.
Yeah, well, he thinks she's after the cargo.
Well, I mean, she crashed into him.
That's his big thing, right?
And this is why this episode's better on second watch, because now you know he's a good guy. Better on second watch.
Yeah, and the whole I'd be more willing to talk if I didn't have that antique pointed at me. Want to? I love that he calls it out right away that it's an antique, and that was good. And then the count to 3, and she's like, "No, I'm counting." Well, fine, damn, you count. Jeez.
Yeah. And his boomerang knife,
Yeah.
which you don't see go back in his hand, but you see it fly, which is you're thinking, yeah, why is he a knife? Oh, it does a thing.
I missed that apparently.
Yeah,
I saw him throw a knife, but I thought he had another one.
No. But I'm wondering
Gotcha.
why would he think this was an antique? Like, I doubt he knows 900 years ago weapons. Like, you know what I mean?
Good point. Good point. But no, it'd be the same if somebody like got you on the ground and had a flintlock pointed at your head. You'd be like, yeah. You'd have to compare it to modern weapons. If the one that we saw in the title sequence is any indication, yeah, it doesn't look that much different. But
I think it's more. I agree with you, but they like say look more different. It's like if someone put a Colt 1911 to your head, that was made in 1911 versus a Colt 1911 built 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly the same gun.
Exactly, or a Glock to us, you know. So
good choice of gun, by the way. It's my favorite gun.
There you go. You're welcome. So I get what they're doing. It would be nice if he ends up being a gun nut for like old phasers or old tech. Cause we even said in another review, if somewhere when they went to Antique Dealer had like a TNG tricorder, even a Relativity tricorder, like that was their chance to throw in all these bits of old canon as antiques, and he could have these cool bits of old tech. Because why not give her a TNG tricorder? Like, how amazing would that be? Why not? It's the past. Yeah. That's an antique. This is an antique. You know, and then he would know old guns because it might have even a TNG phaser or a Star Trek 6 Assault phaser, the fan favorite. Come on, guys. Yeah. You know, brilliant.
2 super chats. Jeff Jacobs 207.
Thanks, Jeff.
On to 250 and 300. You guys are great. Hashtag make Jeff pay.
Thank you.
Danny Shields, €5. I love these live reviews where you guys realize you like the episode more than you thought. It happens sometimes. And Dystopian Guy, £2. Burnham, mom from future, why she didn't exist in TOS. Burnham's mom from the future. Huh?
Yeah, not sure what you mean. And hey, no. Danny, I mean, that's the thing about these scene by scenes. You see, you can credit all the good and bad. We're going to get into less good stuff later, obviously. But we'll be fair as we go.
This is the line where it's delivered like right after the other. He says, "You think ripping holes in subspace is a good idea? Wasn't bad enough for you that the Gorn destroyed 2 light years worth of subspace?" And so implying that they're using wormholes and they destroyed some subspace.
Tried to.
Yes. And of course she's like, wait, the Gorn did what? Now a lot of people complained about this on my first reaction live. How does she know about the Gorn? Because it is pre-TOS and the first real meeting of the Gorn was in Arena. But as Doug Drexler said too before with the Enterprise, you hear whispers and rumorings of people being attacked, and the Gorn hegemony would be probably known about, not specifically what they look like or whatever, but her reaction to it was very much like she sounded like she knew what she was talking about.
That's a good point.
It is a good point.
But I mean, the thing is, Lorca had a Gorn skeleton in his closet. In his
I know. In his menagerie.
At the very least, she's going to say, "What's that? It's a Gorn. What's a Gorn? Alien race in this part of the quadrant." Oh, okay, cool. I mean, she served with them for 7 months.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, though. That's a really good point. We know it. She shouldn't necessarily know it. And he has this whole thing about not knowing a name. I thought that was this whole future idea of like, you know, a name, you have a bit of power over them because no one gives their name. Like everyone uses his name is Booker, but Book allows you to not use a real name. I thought that would be a power dynamic thing in the future. Maybe it will be later, but it was an interesting set of lines.
I love how he calls her Rocket Girl.
Yep.
Your Rocket Girl outfit. Scanned for titanium alloy. There hasn't been anything like that in years. She's like, "Do not call me Rocket Girl."
See, old Burnham wouldn't say that. Like that's a real line with character. That's good.
Yeah. Rocket Girl, burning out your fuse out there alone. Got to rewrite that song now. Danny Shields, €5.
Thanks.
And more good stuff. Those last scenes had me choked up about the Federation and as a concept more than I have since TNG. Yeah.
And Tim Gorlick says, Star Trek Enterprise and Mirror Darkly, they were gone there. Yes. But it was an alternate reality.
It was.
So it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. Because the Gorn were used in the alternate reality to work on the Defiant.
By Tholians, who also are barely known.
Yes.
Yeah, even in TOS. But speaking of TOS, nope. We walk into his ship, and it is filled with lights and plastic.
We find out
and no, we don't.
planets.
Okay, we do not walk into a ship with light and plastic and blue.
The planet's name is Hima.
Yes.
Hama instead of Terrelysium.
Yes. But
So
it's the same planet.
This Terrelysium.
It's just
Yes.
actually a real planet now, not a destroyed
Yes,
wasteland.
the name's changed. I wanted to point that out because I'm sure it's going to come in important later. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But then we see his ship. I think we would agree the best part of his ship is the inside. It's weird but interesting. It feels like an apartment, but not. And I like her walking around it. It allows us to get a real sense of the room because she's new to it as well, and you genuinely get a sense of the room from it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we do a video talking about the ship and the interiors and stuff soon, so stay tuned for that.
And even something as simple as her playing with the controls, like I buy her enthusiasm. We don't see this side of her very often. She's really again better this episode.
And Adam Wozniak puts in 50 something.
That is Poland Zolt. That is $13. Thank you. Brilliant.
Nice, thank you.
Zolty.
Just finished watching. It was so horrible on so many levels, and I was so optimistic about season 3. Only reason to keep watching this is to be able to watch your reviews, keep being positive in these times. Well, thank you. It's kind of a mixed message in your super chat there, but we not only positive, we just call it like we see it. We point out the good and the bad. So,
and believe me, we call out some bad early on.
There's both. Yeah.
But this is kind of a cool scene. He mentions his transwarp. He mentions his solar sails. It's a good little. Even though we're well past Trek, the Trek principles they are using here are mostly correct, and it's nice to hear because, of course, it's good.
Yeah.
And yes, he is space poor.
And we meet his cat Grudge, who has a thyroid problem apparently. And later when Cosmo's talking about the cat, and it's like, I'm going to feed your cat to the starving, and he'll feed a whole planet. Or she'll feed a whole planet.
No, that's the creature in the hold. That's the cat thing he's carrying.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because that's big and it's going to feed. Yeah.
Oh, because I thought he was talking about the cat.
No, because he stole the cargo from whoever was transporting the alien.
Yes.
He stole it, so he was selling it. He was stealing it to sell it to be eaten because it's an endangered animal.
Because that made no sense. And then he says she's a princess. So I'm thinking this cat's
she's a queen. Yeah.
This cat is like Isis from Assignment Earth, who turns into a lady at some point. Later in the season.
That'd be a good reveal. It could be the same actress.
But if he's not talking about the cat, then fine.
Because the alien is actually a queen. She's there to mate with other creatures and create. Yeah, that's the whole subplot. That took me 2 viewings to see as well. Don't worry.
Gotcha. Find out his name is Book, which is short for Cleveland Booker, which apparently he says later, which I completely missed, but they notified me last night in my live that what it's.
Yeah, it's when he comes to Sanctuary, he gives his full name.
Yeah. Sanctuary 4.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, so she's got her mint condition free TOS tricorder that she can trade for dilithium, and so they kind of work a thing out because people have a thing for antiques. And it is mint condition. It's just came with it out of the wormhole.
Although, would you give your phaser, tricorder, or communicator first? Because if you haven't got a tricorder, you can't scan anything. You've no ability to do that. I
was thinking that, and unless its power reserves are drained or just something. Weapons useful, obviously. Communicator is useful, obviously, if you get in touch with Discovery. Scanning is obviously important. So that's a real tough call as to what you'd get rid of. I would assume the phaser would be the thing I would get rid of because there's probably weapons everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And finding scanning tech that you can actually use and understand might be difficult. So
yeah, that was my it's risky, but yeah, I would have the phaser first.
Or the badge. It was antique badge.
No. Serial number. Well, that one surely isn't going to be actually her badge. Like, I won't have her serial number on because would they really replicate as part of her emergency kit a badge with her full name on it? Wouldn't just be part of a generic kit? Like, they're really going to replicate a new badge?
Well, it could be her badge that she packed in that kit specifically before she left.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess. I guess she'd bring a uniform, so I guess there's no reason for us to keep it. Sure.
So before they leave, he cloaks the ship, and she's like, "Oh, so your cargo's temperature sensitive." And I love how later it's like, it's temperature sensitive and very valuable. It must be ice cream.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think the cloak effect's really nice because it's much more. It's not a Star Trek cloak effect. It's more like a What did you call it?
A chameleon field or something.
Or kind of like the James Bond car, but more small pieces. It was a nice effect. It was definitely a different tech. Because like I said in our review, like this tech has been out for hundreds of years. Cloaks. This is a different sort of cloak because otherwise it's not useful. You know?
Yeah. Here we find out he's a thief and he repatriated the cargo. We didn't steal it. So we get
Jeff Jacobs is described as a broken tricorder. He assumed it was because it's obviously 900 years old. It's a working tricorder. He just assumed it was broken because why would it be working? But that,
yeah. Find out about the Federation and how you'll sometimes see badges and get people getting all worked up talking about the Federation.
Yeah.
So she believes in ghosts, the old days, the true believers.
Yeah.
This was actually good dialogue here, I gotta say.
It's real people walking in a real set that's generally hard to walk in, but it still comes across a little bit plain. The dialogue's good, but something about it doesn't quite work. Also, because in drab clothing with a grey, like it's such, you know what I mean? If this was on the beach, it would have been better. But yeah, the dialogue's good, and Burnham is so like, oh god, keep telling me, please. I'm really bloody desperate for information here.
Yeah. And we get the explanation for the burn. It happened 120 years ago. Most of lithium just went boom, he says. And I thought we were going to wait at least 2 or 3 or 4 episodes to find out what happened with the burn, but no, right away.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And she's like, the lithium is the heart of every warp-capable ship.
And I thought she said Federation ship, but I'm glad it was all. Like, it was a very nice, like, the galaxy's affected, not just Starfleet.
Yeah. And the Federation hung on for a little bit, but then it kind of fizzled away. And she can't believe that happened. So, and this is where she says the slap in the face to Trekyards. No, the Federation isn't just about ships and warp drive. What?
Have you seen Trekyards?
It's about a vision.
Which is true. I mean, it's true. You know.
Oh, it absolutely is true. Yeah.
Although there's a slight problem in this episode, they conflate Starfleet and Federation. They interchange them when they're not interchangeable, especially at the end. We'll get into that.
Yes.
And so when she said the Federation isn't just about this, like there's but yeah, it's a good little scene, and yeah, the information dump is thick and fast. Wait, that sounds gross, but it does. They do set the scene well here. I just wish it wasn't on quite a plain looking environment. That really could have looked a lot nicer. I know it's not their fault. It was a really grey day with mist, but
it always is there though.
Well, there you go. But it doesn't look good. Doesn't even look alien. And it just looks a bit gross.
Yeah. And the mercantile where they're going is in a place called Elysium. She says, "Take off your badge before there." And then we get the shot of this beautiful, futuristic cityscape with Discovery shuttles flying around everywhere. Although the airlock ring, or the door at the back of the shuttle, is now a huge glowing element that looks like a thruster of some sort.
Yes. Yeah. And you can see it here, guys. There is a few non-Discovery shuttles. Like there is a couple of different things, but I'll certainly zoom in. I mean, embarrassing. We will do a video on it because we've got to call them out. You know, we've got to. I mean, sorry guys. It's even the same red paint. Like, they didn't even retexture it. They didn't even bother to change the model.
But you didn't even notice it at first. You said.
I didn't see that one. No, I saw the next shuttle that flies past camera in this shot, which you can see isn't a Discovery shuttle. Because I was focusing on the floor stuff, the ground stuff. See, this one isn't. That's the thing. They've already got these shuttle models. Why isn't Discovery shuttle models as well? You've got a generic Grand M shuttle. Don't use the other one. You know.
So it does seem like a slap in the face a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. But this stood out to me because everything up to this point has been a real location. But Michael Burnham walking up this like hill, real scene, and it cuts to it absolutely fully digital, awful color palette, grey, gross. Ugh, it's a horrible CGI shot for me. It looks so unrealistic. It looks like a terrible matte painting. Like it's like yay, lots of polygons, but it's ugh. And it doesn't cut with her either. Like it's a complete, for me as a CG artist, it completely destroys itself. I really dislike this sequence. The base thing's a thing, but it's horrible effect. Ugh.
SWTX Chaser $3. Star Trek Disco, the Star Wars Andromeda season.
Yep. With a little bit of Firefly.
Yeah. Snoopy McQueen $5. No comment, but thank you, Snoopy.
His comment is no comment?
No, his comment is there is no comment.
Oh.
The Trembler throws in $2. The shuttles are flown by antique lovers. Wink.
Trembler,
Yeah.
go screw yourself. Now,
So we find out.
credit here, though. The next 10 to 20, 30 minutes takes place in a warehouse, in essence, on a soundstage.
Yes.
And the long shots you can tell it is. But they do a good job at hiding that fact. I'll give them credit. It's just a cheap warehouse set.
Yep.
But they do a good job.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like Star Trek at all, but it doesn't feel like a warehouse. So well done them.
And we find out the Orions and the Andorians are working together, and basically they get in with the premise that they're going to be selling these antiques.
Yep.
Yeah, and
And Book's got a thing in his arm to prove he's a what's
courier.
Courier, thank you. She hasn't, so there's this is a courier distinct base, but the boss lets her in. And you see their guns appear out of nowhere, which is the future tech. Unfortunately, the guns themselves look quite primitive. I mean, I would argue a hand phase looks more advanced than a big like the amount of emitter that is needed is drastically less advanced looking, even though it's 900 years later. And isn't this Andorian guy wasn't he in season? Like, isn't he the same guy from Discovery, the Admiral?
Probably.
He looks
I don't know.
the same.
Yeah.
To me. But the makeup's good. Like, all credit to it. Still wish they didn't have the eyebrow spikes. Otherwise, that'd be. And he's got gills on the side of his cheek. But I like the personality they give him. I hope we have to see more Andorians, etc. I like Book sign up for it's good. It's a good world building for what it is. And I like the fact that, and you said it feels Romulan, maybe, but
the uniforms do, yeah. Especially later when they're being chased.
But it doesn't feel like a post-apocalypse. I was so impressed by the lack of the universe is destroyed and everyone's living in turmoil. No, this is just basically a smuggler's base, and you go there, and if you're a licensed person, you walk in, it's fine. Like, if you make trouble, they'll kill you, but that's, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of places where that happens in the world. So it had a certain feel of, the big powers aren't the big powers anymore, but this isn't the post-apocalypse. It's just I like.
And there's a scene here where she sees the portable transporters being used, and she's like, oh, portable transporters, and she gets so excited. That's one moment I like her in this one. That's one of them. And he's like, whatever. Kind of like, I see this shit all the time. Which was great. There was a nice little moment there. So.
And it was all they needed to set it up for later.
Yep.
Because you had to set it up. Although the way they play it, they walk out of a room and it feels as if that's the transporter they're in, and you get the sense it was like a portable box transporter. But you can't see they're touching themselves on the chest, so you don't know how they're beaming. Portable could just mean it's in the room. So it was unclear, but obviously you see it later on. But yeah, it certainly was a little setup. But Stuart, here's a subspace communicator. Good luck. Have a good time. Give me the tricorder. I'll be on my way. Right?
Nope.
Oh.
He led her to the vault. And so she gets a stasis field put around her and under arrest, and he takes off. He takes her little kit that has her phaser and communicator in it as well, and just basically apologizes. He says, the tricorder wasn't going to cut it for dilithium. I need to get where I'm going.
But Stuart, what does cut the mustard? 316 people watching our scene-by-scene breakdown.
Ooh, nice.
You guys did not turn up for Lower Decks, which is sad, because do go back and watch Lower Decks. It was really good. Happy to be back for Discovery. Hope you're enjoying the balanced review. But Stuart only had 226 likes. I mean, that's not for me to express how good or bad. You tell the audience with 315 people watching.
Okay, guys, easily 250, 275.
250? 250? Is that what you want? 250?
No, 250. I don't do 50. Ask Jeff Jacobs. I don't like that. 275. 275 will work, but we could also hit 300. So we challenge you to hit 300, guys. If you haven't hit like, and we know you're out there, if you haven't hit like, hit that like button. Let's get us up to 300.
Interesting question. Jason says, go to the future to see all the same races we've already seen. ... as if that's a bad thing. What do you think? All the same races? Because we've got Cardassians, Andorians, Tellarite. Nope. Wait, we've got all the same races.
What did I think about that?
Yeah, rather than getting all new races.
I appreciate it. They're using the universe. They're using the already established canon. That's one of the pet peeves I had with Enterprise, creating the Xindi instead of using like another race that was already pre-existing, or at least mentioned inside canon.
Yeah.
It was great to see them. So yeah, I have no issues with that.
It was actually probably
I think that's great.
one of its greatest strengths. Because they even used Discovery aliens on the bridge. They even used some existing ones in their own show. And so that force attacks them at the end or in the middle. Like, they're almost all races from the show. I mean, they've already done all those races, but it's like, great, this is the universe. And it makes sense, to be fair, Andorians are a little bit aggressive. Sorry.
Yeah.
So of all the races, like, it fits. It makes sense. Like, I'd rather... It works better. It works better.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. Her face when she's detained, priceless.
Yep.
Danny Shields, €5. Romulan warp drives use a quantum singularity, not dilithium. Maybe the uniforms hint at that. Okay, Danny, again, we're going to go into this again. Dilithium is not the power source for warp drives. It is the refinement. It was used to refine the process and focus the stream. Deuterium is used for a power source on Federation starships for warp drive. The quantum singularity on the Romulan ship is only the power source, not the refinement method. So they might possibly still use dilithium. That being said, yes, the uniforms do look kind of Romulan at the end, and we don't know how other species or races were affected with their warp technology.
But we've got 12 times 50 minutes to find out. Although some interesting other good comments. Book is a metahuman, as in that's the DC term for specialist powers human. I just think it's technology. The way is like his head isn't lighting up. It's like it's a display. Like, so it's technology, not psychic powers. I mean,
yeah.
They look the same, but I mean it's technology. And budget Idris Elba.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I thought the whole time too.
He's good though. He's good. He was good in Supergirl, and he's good in this too. Although, did he have a British accent to you or not? Because
he did absolutely had a British accent.
Okay, it's very gentle though. Like, it's not.
It is very gentle, but it is definitely British. You can tell.
Okay, good. He was more British than
the Trembler, $2. I was surprised not to see a Ferengi, as was I, and especially in the marketplace. And Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. Challenge issued. Get to 300 likes. Do it now. Do it. And then we get her in jail scene with the bumbling cop idiots. These guys made me laugh. The Andorians always talking over the the Orion, asking the same questions that the other guy just asked, and it kind of had a little bit of a, comedy vibe to it. Unfortunately,
well, the music as well.
Yeah,
and even the costumes and the shininess of the faces.
Keystone Cops, kind of vibe.
Yeah, this was a super unique scene that, again, you wouldn't do in early Discovery seasons. This is them saying, you know what? We're not going to be as dark, even though it's a very, very dark look. These are the, and also we're not dystopian. These guys do not fit dystopian. Come on, the guy even says, "Should we go get a sandwich?" I liked that. That was for some reason that made me happy. And even the costumes, I like the costumes.
Yeah. One
feels Orion, and the other one feels whatever it feels like. But I got to say, last thing before we change, I really liked her being double crossed that way. I thought it was very effective. Sad. I like the twist of the character, especially as he's obviously he knows he's trying to save an entire species of aliens. Like, he's got a real reason. This random lady, it's not justifiable, but he's got a real reason.
And we don't know that yet, unfortunately. No. Neither does she, which makes what happens in a few minutes really annoying to me. Her working with him to escape when he could literally be the bad guy, worse than the guys that she ends up murdering.
Yeah. Although, before the funny scene, though, I was confused that of all this money, you guys, her jail is just a dirty corridor.
It was awful.
Why was this a set? I wasn't going to close up, so it doesn't matter. But why would you show us the long shot of this? It looks like garbage. Why? It confused me no end.
It's super cheap. It's just it's like an alleyway that they just hey, here you go.
It was between the set and the catering truck. They just put two lights in, literally. But the scene itself is really good. And again, Michael Burnham, she's different. Literally.
Well, she gets gassed. She gets gassed, and it doesn't take effect right away. And then when it does, it's hilarious. I do love her acting here.
And their response to her, they're just like, "Dude, come on, did you mess up the settings again?" No, it's fine.
Well, she's like, he's like, "That's not right."
Yeah. No, it's yeah. And see, this scene, if these were random aliens, right? You would say it doesn't feel like Star Trek. But because it's an unusual scene and aliens we know and can relate to, you're like, that's kind of cool. That's the important part of using the universe, you know? And like you said, they interrupt each other and you get a good sense of the two of them, and it's good. It's good. And even his makeup's good. Like, I like his vibe. It's sea creature, the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good.
I love how he asked how you were connected to the Federation. I'm dying to talk about it because today does not happen to people.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that's good. And that's important. They say Federation without any sort of the Federation. They've not been exist for 100 years. No, he says it matter of fact. Yeah. So there's a Federation out there doing stuff he has to be worried about. That is also very important. They're not equals, but they're a real force still. It's important.
Yes. So that scene, it's not ended yet. It'll end in a second. But we see Book trying to get this very ugly Orion lady. I do not find her Orion sexy at all. He's talking about access your higher self. I'm accessing my higher self in this moment. How would the world be if everybody... She goes, I'm just going to walk away now.
Shut
You're
up.
annoying me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bad salesman, basically. But he's done it twice now. Did that with the Orion guy as well. It's a very unique way of, the Andorian.
But then Cosmo shows up and wants his shit back.
Yep. Fair enough.
But then we're back to Burnham, who's like, I saved everything. I saved all the things. You guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. She doesn't say that, but
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, I shot out a wormhole and hit a guy. And it's like, he stole somebody's cargo. You can't fly for shit. Wait, one of our guys? A courier?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys got a real problem with your couriers out there stealing stuff and then colliding with 1,000-year-old women in space.
Yep.
That made me laugh out loud. Genuinely, that was good.
No, it's great. Absolutely.
And here's the whole. What was he calling? I don't know, but it was temper sensitive and really valuable. So it's probably ice cream.
Yeah. Just better scripting. This is a good script.
What's his name? Book.
Yeah.
The way she says book.
Yeah.
Stephen W. Fathry, $5. We do weekly Friday streams on new Trek episodes on the Tex Trek channel after Trekyards. If anyone wants to check this out in about 2 hours, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stephen, we will have to check that out, man.
Yeah. I'm going to have to find that right now. And yeah, Stephen's a great contributor to the channel. Always has good comments. So yeah.
And we've met him. We met him in Vegas.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I like it. So good stuff. Good scenes. And they take her... Well, I don't like the fact he's getting beaten by the guy and no one cares around it. Like, it's completely... I get it, but it's a bit weird.
It's not our business. So deal went bad. It's fine. It happens all the time.
But again, this is just a warehouse they filmed in. They made a vibe here. I'm still impressed, the smoke and effects and stuff. Yeah.
See, no, he is talking about the cat because Cosmo says, I'm going to roast Grudge. That's the cat's name. I'm going to roast Grudge and feed her to the starving. And that's when he says, keep her name out of your mouth. She'll feed a whole planet. She's a queen. So he does say Grudge, and that's why I was like, okay, that's why I put that together with the queen thing.
Maybe she's an alien cat. I mean,
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
I mean, Captain Marvel reference. But yeah, then the guys jump in, and you do see the same Discovery alien dude head bridge creatures, one of the guards. Cool, fair enough. But I'm still a bit high, but not quite. And punches him, grabs her stuff back. Again, no one cares, which it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have this conversation, escalation, and the guy just wants to kill them both. But he can't have a gun, but he just wants to kill them both,
But then she gives him the look like, and then they both start kicking ass. Which I didn't quite buy, because he already betrayed her, and she doesn't know he's a good guy yet. Unless she's doing her super Michael Burnham, I can read your mind and you're a good guy kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, first of all, she's still high, so she's running on pure instinct. And he's about to get shot. She's about to get shot. They've got nothing to lose whatsoever. So I
guess that's true.
I mean, it's just a case of let's try it. Okay. I think it was absolutely fine. I think it worked. And again, she's just reacting. She's having fun with it. Literally. No, I thought it was absolutely fine. But then, this shot, they shoot people, but they don't disintegrate. Because a few people get shot. Just want to clarify. Because later they will. But yes, a pew pew emerges. Not very futuristic. Although we have this one pole that lets out goo for some reason.
Like some kind of gas or something, yeah.
Which is weird, but okay. And then lots of pew pew. And then there's force shields or something. There's things. I don't get that. The guy fires a pew, and then a thing in front of the guy shatters, but it wasn't there originally. I don't know what's happening exactly. And also there's a force field that appears later for no reason to save them. I don't really get why certain things happen, but they do. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of. This is kind of a jumbled mess for me. But Burnham's reaction to it all is funny.
Yes.
When Book snaps the Andorian's neck, she's like, "Oh!" And it's just great. And then she sees the dilithium, runs over, and starts scooping it up. And she doesn't get shot once, which is I don't believe for a second. But
they can't aim for shit. I mean, that in this battle clearly they miss so many times. I mean, there's a scene later where they literally miss in front of her, like it's point blank and they miss.
Stormtrooper Academy. Right?
Yeah. But then Book pulls out the pulse, the wave, the non-disintegration tactic, which is very effective. Which I'm sure
the matrix of leadership.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. This was in the original trailer that we called out, and we got wrong. To be fair, or at least we thought we got wrong so far. These guys might be proven to be linked later on, but I kind of like we've seen quite a lot of stuff already. And yeah, Burnham's face. There's stuff we don't see from her normally. It's entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yes, dilithium. In this scene, like they keep getting shot at, but the walls, the what? Yeah, it feels a bit weird. They don't get like hurt, because, yeah, but whatever. It's pretty quick.
But then they transport to under the waterfall, and he's like, they're still incoming. And they show up, and there's a little bit of a firefight. She disintegrates a few guys, and then they jump again. And here you notice that their uniforms look kind of Romulan-like, I think, with the strap and stuff. I could be totally wrong, but it feels kind of Romulan to me. So.
And just in this initial beam-in fight bit, this is when a guy literally shoots at Burnham point blank and misses.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you cannot get closer, and he fires. You notice it the second time round, and yeah, these disintegrations are harsh. I know we did it in Discovery, but she blows these people away without any hesitation. And I'd said to you in another review that she murders people. There's no, as far as she knows, there's no Federation, so her license to do whatever she wants is no longer appropriate. Not that killing is appropriate, but she had a reason. So here she is blowing people away. All she had to do was ask Book, "Where's the stun setting?" He says, "Hasn't got one." And you're like, okay, that sucks, but fine, moving on.
Yep, absolutely.
But she murders so many people, and she's obviously absolutely fine with it. And she has no context who these people are beyond the guys chasing her. It's really... She could use
the argument or the defense that she's high. I was in an altered frame of mind. I didn't know what I was doing. Just surviving.
But it really stands out once you realize she's just murdering people. Like, just like, guys, stun. That's what they're there for. Stop murdering people. It doesn't. It's not good. It comes across. It makes it look really bad. And then they beam in, and then you get to see the Morn, the Cardassian, right behind the guy, but you can't tell. But we know he's there. They can't shoot for shit.
Nope.
Trained soldiers, everyone.
So they jump out again. Then they arrive at another place, and then they start picking them off as they transport in, which seems like kind of dumb. Great defensive tactic if it would work, but I wouldn't be chasing people if I knew that was going to happen to me. So
I don't buy it. It's too like it's nonsensical,
Yeah, it's just a good visual. It is cool to watch this scene, I gotta say.
But also, she's murdering people left, right, and center. She's blowing people away.
Yeah, but they're all bad guys, Samuel. It's fine.
I know.
Jeff Jacobs, $2, 250. Check 300. You're next. To do it. Oh, that's great. Yeah, 300 people watching.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to hit 275 easily. Just hit that like button if you haven't. We'd appreciate it.
And what do you think of the whole beaming in sound effect and the way it does whatever it does? What do you think?
I like it. I can't remember what the sound effect sounds like right now. So
For me,
I'd have
I
to say,
heard the end of it is a coin going ding. Sounds like a coin hitting a wall or something, or a table. It's really strange.
yeah.
Um, it's cool.
Circe just says spawn camping.
Yeah, seriously, it
Yeah.
really is.
I was playing Call of Duty earlier today, and I was standing on top of a crate, and I shot the guy across the way from me, and the same guy spawned right below me, like a second later. And yeah. So anyway, sorry, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
But get us out of here, and I love that it's not like a god device. He's like it takes 30 seconds to recharge.
Which is an
there is
eternity.
limitation.
If you're in a firefight.
Oh, especially in a situation like this, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, if they're better shots, at least.
Yeah. So they hide behind a rock, and he's like, "You're going to be really mad at me."
Yeah.
Well, actually, she apologizes. I think I might have broken your nose. He's like, "Are you saying that just in case we die?" Yes. Yeah. But he's like, "You're going to be really mad at me," and he grabs her and jumps off and transports out, and then underwater, they appear. Because they can't be traced if they materialize inside something solid or water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. That. There's too many particles around you.
But a nice visual of the fish. So.
Yeah, it's a genuinely decent end to a fight scene, and and the way they fall off the end of the cliff, and it's literally right as they're about to leave frame, they beam out. Is a nice cinematic. When is too late, and then she clocks him again, which feels a little bit odd. Especially if she hasn't like tied him up in the next scene. I guess she's come off being high, but it's a little bit unnecessary. But I guess they want the transition to topless man, which they get.
Adam Wozniak throws in 10 of those, whatever they were. All this killing was so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. Although Forrest says self-defense is a thing. Yes, Forrest, so is stun. That's why you have phases, not
unless there's no stun, which one line. Where's the stun setting? There isn't one.
Or I have no idea. Yeah, absolutely. Because she also, like I said, she shot people at the start and they didn't disintegrate, so she wasn't killing people at the start. Yeah.
But she says it's been a while since she got shot, and he's like, well, and she makes this chant, this alien chant. His forehead lights up, and this plant grows, and he gets this goopy antibacterial stuff to put in the wound for her. Nice little scene.
It's an appropriate level confusing, because obviously we don't know why or how, because that's a later thing, But if you look at his head, I mean, to me it clearly looks like there's, nanites in his skin, and they are
implants,
displaying. I mean, it's science, it's tech. That's why even are you praying? Well, sort of, because if you're having to say words to focus your own mental energy, you're praying. You just praise to the tech of your own body, etc. And yeah, it was weird, but interesting, and it's definitely future-y. I like that she's vulnerable here. The way she puts a sap on, like, these are good Michael Burnham scenes. They're better than what we get normally. If she was in season 2, and this was Spock, Spock would be injured. She would help Spock, and Spock would thank her in a very submissive way, and he'd be like, "Oh, Michael Burnham again." But this is a nice little dynamic,
Yep.
Just works better.
And so anyway,
cute too, because English.
You have a handkerchief? Man needs to blow his nose.
Which is gross. You should have said that's gross. Oh no, it's a fresh one. Why didn't you say that's gross?
So anyway, he gives her his tech for communicating. He says, try to contact your ship, but make it quick. And he does say maybe they made it to that planet Terralicium. So he thinks that she arrived at the wrong planet, which she might have. Not 100% sure.
But he doesn't know this is the planet. Like, she didn't ever say that. And I like the fact that she's like, wait, so you could subspace transmit the entire time? It's like, well, yeah. I mean, of course I can, because we've got amazing future tech. You dick. It's just my phone can transmit to Venus. Of course I can. Can't yours? It's like, no, shit. It's good.
And we get the whole time wars and the temporal war, and the fact that all time travel tech is now illegal. That's put in here. So
well, it was also destroyed. It was more explicit than just illegal. It was more like, they destroyed it all.
What did he say here? Hold on.
Although I'm kind of annoyed he didn't say temporal Cold War. Although I get it. It wouldn't matter if it was a cold or warm war. I get why.
Afterwards, history only records it as a war,
Yeah.
not that there was a Cold War spell.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he says, don't know how you came by whatever you used to get here. All time travel technology was destroyed after the temporal wars. Outlawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't think other races would agree to that. Do you really think the Nazi aliens would agree to do that? I know they were defeated, but I mean, it only works if you manage to. Or maybe the burn was a side effect of like disabling temporal tech, which would be kind of cool, like the final WMD to destroy that layer of subspace that lets time travel happen, but it ended up sacrificing dilithium. Oops, and then it would link that together as well. You know, temporal core will end up destroying the future, but just by its very nature of losing time travel, that'd be kind of cool. Be kind of linky.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if Burnham is future guy?
I'm gonna hit you. Slap right through this
What if
webcam.
Scott Bakula? We just see the other side of the conversation. It's like, oh my god, she has a pen pal. It's Scott Bakula.
Anyway, they get back to the ship. The guys find them, and what's the code? Well, first of all, the Beetlejuicean guy gets killed because what's the use of a courier that has his cargo stolen? And it reminds me of Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
With Han Solo.
Yeah, I didn't quite see the need for it because if there's so few people with workable ships and knowledge, you don't do this. You idiot. I'm sure your boss would be unimpressed. Especially since the cargo is just an alien creature. Like, it's not like it's anything that important to them.
Maybe he didn't like him and blame it. He got disintegrated because the other guys, the bad guys are following, shot him. It wasn't me.
Sure. Hey, I could buy that. But it felt a little bit off. I know it was to remove the villain from the episode. I get it. But it felt a bit odd.
It's also show the danger because they work with this guy. He's helped hunt these two down. Yet they're going to shoot him. Of course, they're going to kill these two, right? It's kind of ramp up the danger level. The Trembler, $5. Now that self-beaming exists, will the Discovery team remember it all the time? Will people regularly put up 50-meter diameter shields to prevent ambush? 50-meter diameter shields. No.
Yeah.
We did make the assumption that the new communicator badges we see later in the season do have the transporter tech in them, though.
Or at least transporter dampening, like some more tech in them. And I quite like these long shots with just the beach. The fact that we've got a Morn, an Andorian, a Tellarite, the other guy.
Orion.
Yeah.
Andorian.
Oh, I always said Tellarite. Yeah, and I was missing. Yeah, the other one. Like, it's such a nice little set of them. And that does show a nice hegemony of people. And I'm pretty sure we must have seen this other guy in Discovery before. The guy with the weird face.
Maybe.
Like, it looks very sort of normal alien. Now this guy's totally on green screen. This is totally a reshoot. The guy with the Andorian holding the thing. That is absolutely an out of focus green screen shot. But just saying.
But they give the code to the ship, and it's sticky. What kind of code is that? You know what? Get your own goddamn ship. Make your own code.
That's a good line.
And I assumed it was an alternate code because if I had a ship like that, I'd have sticky would, make it so they can't steal the ship. They can't do whatever, right? Disable things.
Well, I assumed sticky was going to be it fires like an adhesive gel which disables people, like the automatic defensive measures. Yeah. Or it could be like the Mandalorian, the arm thing that fires all these little jet things that shoot people. I mean, it's also it does mean something dodgy, but I was expecting a self-defense thing. And you get Creature, you get Ripper version 2, because it's the same director that directed that one apparently, so they did Ripper again.
And don't kill it. It's served fresh, and then it turns out eating them.
Yes.
And then burn them, and I'm like, what? But it doesn't kill Burnham. It kills the first two, but not her.
Yes.
That bothered me a lot. I thought that was really incredibly stupid.
Yeah, if it had just chewed once. And also, Burnham would be scarred by that. And what if there's acid? Although it is also weird that the last 2 seasons of Star Trek, the main character has been eaten by an alien. Boimler and Burnham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah,
that
people
weird?
drew that conclusion like this was,
A reference.
making fun of or homaging, or
Yeah.
making referencing first episode of Lower Decks. And I disagree.
I mean, she took
I
it
think
better
this
than
is
Boimler. I'll be honest. She's
yeah.
like, oh, that sucked. That was weird.
Well, yeah. Well, she didn't get all the moisture sucked out of her.
No, but she had a lot of moisture on her now.
Oh, she gooey. Yeah.
But no, it's a really good looking alien. Very Star Warsy, but also not. Just a very, very good CG model. Yeah, just a good little sequence, and it being sort of pet works well. And yeah, it's just a nice version of expectations that kind of works, and doubles up his affinity for other life, which is good. It works.
I just absolutely hated the fact that she got eaten and then didn't die.
Yeah.
But anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So then we get what is next? Then they're back. They're on the ship and they're heading out, and they have their nice heart-to-heart talk.
Well, first they're at warp because they have lots of dilithium. They stole loads, and it's sort of warp. It's still tunnel warp, and they're doing right-hand turns for some reason. Like, why would you need to do right-hand turns? Now, it could be quantum slipstream, because that also has turns, but where are they going to need turns, and why? And they can't do slipstream because they don't have the power source, and it just looks like Star Wars, and it's different again. Bit confusing.
It's just annoying. It's just annoying.
Yeah. Bit weird.
Yeah, so we get the explanation that these transworms were everywhere before the Federation fell, but since the Federation fell, nobody was around to enforce the Endangered Species Act.
Brilliant.
So now they're, and he's connected to the animals and stuff, and it's his family are poachers, but every once in a while, one like him comes along that is different, and he thinks it's like to balance out the universe. It's the perfect balance, like the Force. Which is fine, I guess. But he's like, she's like, how does it feel to feel everything? It's uncomfortable, which I loved. I thought that was great.
People saying this is slipstream, but no, they explicitly said they can't go slipstream because they haven't got the fuel for it.
Yes. And they just stole a bunch of dilithium. So
for warp, so it's future warp. I know this is actually a really good scene. I like her jacket a lot. Her new costume is much I think it's really good actually. I think it's good, and the vibe here is nice. He's a good guy, Yeah, it's good. This is where the episode takes like an absolute lift of like, oh,
yes,
this is a Star Trek-y thing, and Burnham's good here, and he's good here, and we've got a positive message, and they don't even dwell on these aliens too long after this. There's a scene moving on. It's an appropriate level of length. We're not trying to milk it. We're trying to. It's part of the story, but just part of the setup. So yeah, I can't fault the scene. It's a good scene, and Burnham's good, and yeah, the idea of if the Federation's gone, all these life forms that we've been forced for hundreds of years, they're fair game, which is really sad. It's good. That's a good concept. Sad, but that's the point. Yeah.
Let's see. It is slipstream, says film will not commence. The Ronin says any on-screen evidence the crystals were dilithium. What did they need for slipstream?
I think it's like barium. He names it.
Yeah.
And he also says no one has it. Like he explicitly says would use it, but no one has it. And she's a scientist. She knows what dilithium looks like.
Yeah, and solar sails, they don't work for shit.
Yeah.
So this is warp, I would assume. So.
I mean, looks like warp, just curvy warp. And then you get the Loch Ness monster scene.
Yeah.
On the planet from Into Darkness at the start.
Yes.
Those are my comments about the scene.
Well, they got her there just in time because they have a mating cycle, and they got her there just in time, so it'll make sure there's little baby transworms. So
it's nice. It's good.
He left this is what his planet looked like before he had to leave it, and then he asked her what she left behind. He's like she's said 930 years, and she's like to ensure the future, and he thanks her because without her he wouldn't be there. So that was nice. I didn't do it alone. I need to find my ship, but I don't know where to start looking. He's like, maybe I can help. And then we get the flyover of the Federation, a relay station. Used to be a relay
Oh,
station.
it's actually oh shit! I never saw it. So it is actually the ship that flies over it with the little orange engines. For
Yes.
scale.
Yep.
Damn, I never saw that because it's so small. That is a
Yep.
huge station. And yeah, you can see
Yep.
the massive Aztecing, like bloody ship-size Aztecing, but the logo very heavily not alive. But yeah, Starbase. They say reactor blown.
Well, not a starbase. A relay station. It was not a starbase.
Looks like a starbase.
It's a. I know, but it's a relay station.
Oh.
Main reactor breach probably is what caused the destruction.
Although to be fair, he doesn't know. There's a lot of I don't know in this episode, which means they can go back and say, it wasn't that.
But there was no one around to pick up the pieces, he says. And then we get the whole greetings. Please proceed to the attendant desk. Thank you.
Yeah. I do get the sense that he does get visitors, just not Starfleet. Like, people do come say, hey. Like, he's not like, oh my god, the first person in 50 years. He's like, oh, hey, how can I help? Like, people do come see him, just not Federation people.
Yeah.
Welcome to Starfleet.
He says, welcome to Starfleet. Yeah. And she's like, oh my god, I'm Commander Michael Burnham, Science Officer, USS Discovery, serial number, blah, 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 blah.
And he's like, holy shit.
I expected him to stand up and go, never heard of you. Because he's had 40 years to like study all the files and everything. And since they were covered up, but he announced he had, introduces himself, Adacha Sahil, Federation Liaison. It would be my honor to assist you. And so we need to locate a warp signature of a starship with the identifier NCC, or the Navigational Contact Code, which I like to think, 1031. Yes, of course. He's super excited to do something important.
He is. Or do anything. And I was the reverse of you. I was expecting him to say, Commander Burnham, you have come back from the past. Yes. It's good to see you. You know, I've been waiting for your signal. Because this is Terralicium. Like, they know where they were going. And then she's like, you know me? Yes, you're here to save the future. Where's Discovery? She's like,
looking for. That's why we're here.
He's like, damn it. So I love the, he doesn't say you're from the past. Like, it's very, you're just a person. Anybody is good here. So I liked actually that a lot.
303 people watching, 271 likes, 30 more likes to 300, guys. If you haven't hit like, hit like. Yeah. Matthew K, $2. Do you think he's the only person on board? It feels like it, yes. And I still think he might not be human. They kind of established he was human, but I still think he's kind of off. So.
I mean, he could still be a synth organic with parents.
Yes.
I mean, if you're that many generations in, Data considers, son a parent, etc.
SWTX Chaser, $2. Badgie should have appeared at this moment. No.
Hey! Can I find you a starship?
Can I teach you a lesson?
And I gotta give him credit. This scene is the best scene in the episode. It's well paced, well shot, well acted, good vibe. It doesn't feel like Starfleet Federation, but it does feel like an evolution of. It's a nice thing. And in fact, this map is super interesting. I was hoping we were going to get into it. He does scan 32 sectors, but it does say unidentified starship 21211. Intermittent long-range sensor contact. No response to hails. Possible at transition error.
The other one.
Oh, it says non-Federation, according to Species Warp 5. Okay.
Yeah, and it does say the other one, identified starship 21210. So yeah, 2 Federation starships within scanning range, but they both say unidentified. So. Because
the context is he does find 2 Federation starships. Now, Federation, not Starfleet. Although in this scene he does say "Welcome to Starfleet," but he also says they're Federation ships, and she also says "Welcome." Like she also commissions them into the Federation, even though that would be into Starfleet. So they incorrectly interchange them, which is not correct. But
and he does say these are the only 2 Federation starships in a 600 light year radius.
Yes.
She's like, what about the other sectors? Don't have access to them. Haven't for decades. The long range sensors have been down for decades.
But yes, in his lifetime. That's a relatively new thing.
Yep. And he just assumes that the other sectors are the same way, that they can't scan all the other sectors.
And isn't his innocence of like, I assume everyone else has the same problem? It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
Or they could all be destroyed. And just for clarity, guys, Vulcan from Earth is 16.5 light years away. So pretty far you can scan. But it's a big galaxy. But 2 ships at the edge of the range, definitely Federation. So there is a Federation. The transponders do work, it's unidentified. And he doesn't treat it like we're all dead. I'm the last. So there's a nice balance of, I mean, I'm still here. I still see things
Yeah.
floating around. There's something. Let's hope. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris Hughes said something that just got hidden by a moderator. NCC 21210, numbered after the year COVID ended. Well, it's not NCC 21210. No. It's just unidentified ship number 21210.
Yeah.
And the other one was 21211.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she tells him that she's from the past, from before the burn, and find out, my ship was right behind me, but I don't know where it is now.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's either out of comm range, or it's not here yet. And according to temporal dynamics, it could show up tomorrow or in 1,000 years.
But that's not how the Red Angel suit works. It sets a time to go to, and it makes a wormhole to go to that point. I know he doesn't know how the Red Angel suit works, but
they were just following it in its wake, so I would assume that they would have been spilled out some other point close by.
Yeah,
they didn't have the tech on board, so.
Yeah, you can definitely extrapolate that the suit is designed to travel itself rather than the wake. Yes. Yeah.
Now, the Trembler puts in $5. Wouldn't this place be a target for raiders, especially if he's on his own? Honestly, we don't know enough, but that's the point. We don't know what's on the station specifically. I would assume no dilithium. So, what of value? Probably not much.
And I would assume it still has weapons and shields. I mean, his vibe is I'm fine, and even though they might have damage externally, you get the sense he fixed it over the last 40 years. Like, the thing works as well as it can.
Yeah.
He's just bored. So I think it's fully armed, fully able. Maybe no phone peers, because that's obviously, none left. But yeah.
He tells her a secret that he's not a commissioned officer. His father was, his grandfather was, but there's been no one around to do it, to commission him.
He acts so cute and, relatable.
Yeah.
But mate.
Even though he's not a commissioned officer, he's been here every day for 40 years in this office, looking for others like him.
What a guy.
And then the whole, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
This has to be hung up by a commissioned officer.
Yep.
I've waited years to see it on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I just would have hung the fucking thing up personally. But anyway.
That tells you all you need to know about him, He takes his job real seriously. And I appreciate he doesn't ask for a commission first. He wants the symbolic thing first.
Yes.
She offers him a commission first. Into the Federation. Not Starfleet. Incorrect script, but I can imagine they didn't do Control F R find and replace. They just made a oopsie there.
Well, I love her little speech. Like, you're as real a Federation officer as I've ever met. So do me the honor, if we need an acting communications chief who can keep searching for my ship. Would you accept the commission? So that was really a nice moment. And then the handshake, which turned into another hand, and then another hand, like all the hands on there.
And the cat, and then the alien, and then Badgie.
Long fingers, and then Badgie. Yeah, that's great.
No, it's lovely. It really is. Although if we go through what will my rank be? Oh, acting ensign. It's like, oh, okay. 40 years of service. Acting ensign. Yeah, just what I wanted. Thank you.
And the ending here is great with hope is a powerful thing. Sometimes it's the only thing. Our numbers are few. Our spirit is undiminished. If there are any others out there, we'll find them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brilliant end. And I so hope that we don't now reveal the Federation being part of the corruption, part of the darkness, part of the bad people, where we kind of guesstimated. Don't give us these false expectations. I mean, I'd be fine if he's the bastion of good, and there's different. If every group of survivors are alone, they'll have different levels of keeping the duty. That's fine, but let's make sure he stays good and is a representation of a lot of the good, because it was very much needed and refreshing.
Yes. Luke Celeste throws in $10.
Thank you.
So the Delta did not change for 1,000 years. No, because this is the Discovery Delta. It never changes.
Well, it's got a different curve. I mean, it's more curvy and it's a different Delta. But yes, it's still got a slice for no reason.
Yeah. And Jerry, $2. Maybe the fixed spots in the opening sequence help this guy. Yep. We kind of speculate on that in a future video that we're doing. that there might be repair bots that end up helping out.
And actually, that'd be a nice way. Like, if this becomes the home base, especially if we have to wait for Discovery, it'd be kind of nice if we see like time pass and she finds the tech and helps fix the station. That becomes because it's a nice looking station.
Beginning of the new Federation that they're rebuilding
On Terranisium. Yeah. Because to be fair, he wasn't trained per se. There might be ship construction facilities on this yard. I mean, especially there's computer systems available. They'll have technical know-how, etc., etc. Yeah, I like it.
SWTX Chaser, $2. Never give up, never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender. Just for you.
You are our last hope.
Burnham, you are our last hope.
And that's the name of the episode, guys. That hope is you.
Oh, hey. Nice.
The Doctor puts in $5. He's a keeper of a beacon of Gondar on top of the mountain all his life, waiting for a sign. Yes.
That's going to be the case. They're going to do that's absolutely perfect.
All right.
But guys, we are 16 likes away, and we are $33 away from a lovely round number. So I want now to hear your scores in super chat and non-super chat form. You only need to make $33 if the math is right. That's not that many fives. So guys, start spamming with super chat fives. Your score, your review thoughts. We're going to read them out. Stuart with the super chats. I'll read the non-super chats. Stuart, we'll give our scores. But I do want to have some different criteria here because it's a complicated episode. How much you enjoyed it, how does it compare to Discovery, and how does it compare to general sci-fi? At least this first one.
God damn. All right. So my overall thoughts on it. Yes, guys, please super chat your scores. I'll read those when I'm done. And then put the regular, if you can't super chat, just put in the regular chat and Samuel will get to those. This one I didn't really enjoy that much. Like I said, I'm not a huge Burnham fan. She's a little bit better in this episode. I will grant you that after having talked about it now. But yeah, the last 10 minutes of this episode is the gold for me. And I wish, we would have maybe got into this a little sooner. The whole Star Wars adventure on the planet wasn't really my thing. Especially when I'm watching Star Trek, unfortunately. Other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, Book's character is great. It's great seeing the Andorians, the Orions, alien species we know, and others as well that were chasing them, was really great.
And in fact, we've got used to not giving them credit when they just don't use these things. And so when you suddenly step back and say, oh, they're actually using these races, you should think, oh, yeah, damn. Give them a little bit of credit because they didn't. They don't normally.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were a few stupid things like Burnham getting eaten by the thing and not dying.
Many murders.
Yeah, small things like that. The whole confusion about, I'm going to roast Grudge and feed him to the starving, and she's a queen. Will that come important later? Hopefully. I also appreciate the fact that we got told what the burn was right off the hop. Like I said, I expected that to be 3-4 episodes in and having to wait for it. But no, they got that out of the way, which is great. Now it's just the who, the why, and the what. We already know the when, so that's fine. And yeah, this guy at the end, I hope he's a part of it. I hope he actually transfers over to Discovery at some point as a communications officer. That'd be kind of neat, considering that, well, unless he's got to stay here and man the station and like rebuild the Federation, that'd be kind of neat as well. So I do like this character though, and looking forward to seeing more of him. And yeah, I mean, I really appreciated Book. There's some good stuff here. So what are the requirements?
3 clarifications, and guys, we are now $26 away. 26. I'm putting a few fives. Its review score for Discovery, so out of the 3 seasons, for general sci-fi, and then what your enjoyment factor. I won't do this for all of them. Just
holy shit! All right,
Discovery, enjoyment, and then general sci-fi. If you just take Star Trek out of it.
For all of Discovery, this is probably going to get a 4.5.
Okay.
Maybe a 5 out of me. For general enjoyment, assuming I'm watching Star Trek, or just
whatever criteria, just flat out your enjoyment factor. There's no criteria, just enjoyment.
Honestly, probably a 6.
Yeah, it can be close. I'm just pure gut reaction there.
And as for the general
Sci-fi. Take it out of Star
sci-fi-ish,
Trek.
like
Yeah.
let's say this is the first episode of a new series,
Absolutely.
like
Andromeda the sequel.
Killjoys or Dark Matter.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely done that.
I'd probably give it a 7, 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And guys, keep super chatting. We're almost there, and I will give my thoughts, and then we'll read them all and have a beautiful end to it. So yeah, this one, as you know, Stuart, I was about a 5 going in, but I did enjoy it more second time round. It's definitely quicker on second time. The bits that lag didn't lag as much, because first time round, there are moments where you're just like, this is not entertaining. It's not bad, but it's not entertaining. It felt very vanilla. And the reason I would say 5 is because the episode did nothing particularly amazing, but did nothing really poorly. Except those minor things of, a bit of murder, a bit of whatever. But those are those things that bring it down a bit, but they're not like, oh, awful in the context. The things it improves on is definitely script. And these are things more rewatching it and doing this analysis with you. The script's better than season 2. No plot hole so far, but it's because it's setting everything up. If they were already, that would be shocking. Book is good, although very similar to his Supergirl character, listen vibe, but I like if it just feels like a guy. Use of aliens, definitely appreciate it more second time round. The use of just the simple, warehouse set, but actually making it feel quite effective is surprising and good. CGI is good, if very bad color palette, and it's weird how ugly they made Iceland look. Even though it also looks nice and alien. It's a very odd, very weird. Didn't really like the start too much, shaky cam. Basically, as soon as they ignore the Trek, it's kind of good, and this is definitely another reset, both for Burnham, for the story, and I'll bring this up now. I'm not into the whole. No, wait for Stuart to come back. But I do want to mention one little thing that only rezzed at the end. This episode is the first episode in Star Trek history to not include a white person. I only thought that after the end. I was like, oh yeah, the guy's Indian at the end. Because the main two leads are black, the guy at the end's Indian, and then everyone else is an alien. And you don't realise that until you realise, oh yeah. And they didn't, Discovery people...
I never thought about that.
Yeah, they didn't say, look, Discovery Season 3, we've now got 2 black leads for an episode that, they didn't... Whereas in Discovery Season 1, they promoted their use of casting. Here, it just is. It doesn't matter. But I just realised that. It's like the first episode in history to do that. Cool. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Well done. You didn't notice until you sort of notice. And yeah, the end scene is great. It is a really good sign. It leaves on a strong note. Morally, it feels better, and I hope it continues on this line. I really, really hope it does, because it could easily go bad. And even the next time on trailer, the lady who's the non-binary person, her attitude to the crew in that one line, fair enough, is not villainous in the same way as dismissive. And I really hope we're not going to get the negative stuff. So I really hopeful for there. So I think for Discovery, I'm now going to up it to a 6.
Okay.
So that was up a point. Enjoyment, I'm going to actually up it to a 6.57. Probably 6.5 though, I think. Sci-fi, I think it probably gets an 8 for sci-fi, because it was an interesting concept. But it was also somewhat generic in its own way, but it was interesting. And this could go great. Awesome. But yeah, it was interesting. So well done them. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to some of the super chats.
Absolutely.
Michael Callane puts in $8 Australian. What future tech would you like to see in Federation ships in the coming episodes? Don't know. Ship transporters. I can transport ships. Just transport the ship to within solar systems, just certain distances.
Maybe an Iconian gateway. That's how the Orions have kept their power.
Nice.
That'd be a simple one. EMH mobile emitters. So they've got a set, hologram soldiers or whatever with the EMH style tech. That'd be fun. Mobile emitter style tech.
Cool.
Thank you.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5. 7 out of 10 for Discovery. 6 out of 10 for Sci-Fi in general.
Okay.
5 out of 10 for Trek.
Okay.
It was pretty meh. Burnham being high was neat, and getting sucked on was sweet. Yeah. Suckled on. Sucked on. Same thing, really. Love Grudge. Meh. Grudge
I'm not a pet person, so I just doesn't care. I don't care.
I'm not a huge cat fan. The Trembler throws in $5. Another time travel ban question. What happened to the Bajoran Orb of Time? Destroyed in the war, or did the United Federation of Planets have to confiscate a cultural relic? No, I assume the Bajorans would have locked it up or something, or hidden it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Adani, $10.
Oh, thank you.
Plus equals uplift in ending. What? Liked book a lot. Excellent special effects. Sad to see it was only Burnham. Tech didn't look any more advanced. Absolutely. Overall, 6 out of 10. Worth watching more of season 3. Yeah. I think once we see part 2, it might be better. And
yeah, we've got through the setup. They're going to be friends now. They're going to be positive. There's going to maybe even see a ship in part 2, especially if they show us the scene where they walk into a Federation starship as part of which we saw on the trailers. Like if that's already in part 2, but that's where it could turn on the dime of them being bad. So that could easily ruin the vibe real quick.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm definitely interested to see you next week, which I did not think I was going to be. So yay.
Luke Celeste, $5. 5 out of 10 for me. Still an Andromedan-driven story. We'll see if it goes up or down for the Commonwealth. LOL.
Federation.
Yeah. And a good 15 out of 10 for Trekyards. Wow.
Thank
you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. No, this was a good discussion, Stu. I think we had a really interesting back-to-back. And the fact is, we spent a good amount of time talking to you guys, and then quite a quick review, actually, if you look at the
45 minutes. 45 minutes just doing super chats before we started the review, at least, yeah.
So we were right. It would be a short review, just you guys kicked ass, and we chatted to you for a while, which is great. Perfect.
The Trembler, though, throws in $2. Discovery review, 8 out of 5.
8 out of 5, wow.
Oh, 8.5 out of 10, sorry.
There you go.
Sci-fi, 6.5 out of 10. And enjoyment, 7.25 out of 10. Wow. SWTX Chaser, $5. Let's be honest, it only took Kurtzman 2 seasons to properly get past the pilot episode.
That's, yeah.
7 out of 10 for Sci-Fi, 6 out of 10 for Trek, and 7.5 out of 10 for Discovery.
And in fact, I'll go back to what you said a minute ago, or, well, a while ago. If this has been episode 1 of Discovery, where we see that there's a time incident go wrong and a crew member from the past gets sent to the future, that would be a bit contrived Star Trekky, but I mean, and start here.
Yeah.
What a way to start! Talk about doing the unknown.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And last super chat, James McGill, $2. Chief O'Brien still is the most important figure in Starfleet. There should have been a picture of Chief O'Brien hanging on this guy's wall.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But I do like the nanotechnology desk and chair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pixie Doodle, the badges are those that support us monthly, which is super, super important. And super chats are here now, me talk / give support show money.
Pixie Doodle, the badges beside the names are people that have joined the channel. You can join the rank of commander, captain, or admiral, and it's like a monthly thing that is very super good. Important. Plus, get your name highlighted, you get the badge, and the badge changes with the amount of time you've been here to different divisions, and so we can see, it basically highlights your comments on our end and shows us how long you've been a supporter. So we really appreciate people that join the channel. So.
And guys, I do think we've got to say well done to Discovery. You did a decent job. Well done. All things considered. I mean, even if it's decent and not bad, still decent and not bad. All things considered.
Now, are you going to read some non-super chat scores?
Absolutely. Let me zoom up. And as we did say, I believe at the start, Discovery Season 4 filming in November. People have mentioned that, but we've said it at the start. We'll say it at the end. Good luck. Have fun. Get us some more Trek next year because we can review it, please.
And I want to point out to Pixie Doodle as well. If you join the channel, as Tuning3434 says in the chat, you get access to all the emojis and stickers and stuff you can use in the live chats, which are really fun. So
yeah. So let's see what our audience thinks. And we said it was 259 people watching, 300 likes. We did it. But any
we
more
hit
likes?
300. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, let's have a look. Right. We've got. Went a little bit too far. 4
Jeff Jacobs.
Okay.
$3.
Thank you.
300. Nice job. All made Jeff pay. I thought you were going to take a second or more to scroll up. That's why I jumped on that real quick. So sorry, I apologize. Go ahead.
4 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 2, 5, and 0, based on the things I said, but that's a little bit of a go. 7 out of 10 badgies. 5.5, 8, 6, 8, 6, 6, 7, 6, 8, 7, 7, 5, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6, 6, 4, 7, 7, 3.
Wow.
6.5.
So pretty middle of the road is what we're getting. Ensign Ricky, though, throws in $2.
Thank you.
Not great. Not horrible.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. Meh.
But I think why I've gone up from a 5 to a 6 is the script is clearly better. And I think, honestly, you can get a sense they spent more time writing this season than last season where they changed it.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, it could easily be worse if the payoff's bad. But you know what? Yeah, better script, better Burnham. That's kind of what you want from Discovery. Because those are some of the lacking things. But we also have 5, 9, 10. Bobby Bear, wow, 10. That is drastic. 4, 5, 9 out of 20, which translates roughly to 2 out of 10. No, I'm joking. It's 4-ish out of 10. 6.5, 7, 7, 6.5. And
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
And fun will now commence. Throws in $2. 5.5 out of 10 for sci-fi. 6.5 out of 10 for enjoyment. Well, hold on. No, I think that's wrong. I think it's 5.5 out of 10 for Discovery or Star Trek. Sci-fi is 6.5 out of 10, and enjoyment is 7 out of 10. So.
And B. Klutz says the script was better, just the fight scenes were meh. They weren't great.
Yeah.
They weren't bad, but they were shot. I mean, you can kind of tell that Sonequa isn't the best fighter, and they're kind of pew-pewing without effects, obviously because they're lasers and see after the fact. There's a disconnect there, and they also like shooting close. They're not great. They're not bad, but yeah, they're not great. Certainly.
Timothy Moore, Discovery Shuttles. I know. That's okay, guys. That's one thing that really pissed me off when I saw it. But
I think it's a troll. I think they're just saying F. This thing pissed off Trekyards, will include it. I can see that being the thing.
we like to hear them bitch and complain. So
Yeah, and we'll do a video.
Oh, we will.
Because, see, I know it sounds like we're harping, but when you make mistakes, you should get called out for them. And if you make them for a third time in a row, it's like that's on you at that point,
After having just watched Lower Decks, I was just going into this thinking that, it'll be fine. They've learned a lot from Lower Decks, but no, they haven't really had a chance to see finished Lower Decks by the time they started working on this.
Yeah. It's a different team, obviously.
Yes.
Pixelmundo versus not Pixelmundo. And someone would say, it's pandemic, they were working at home, limited time. No, there's other shuttles in the scene. So they chose to put Discovery Shuttle in 100% deliberate. They had built other shuttles. Yeah,
that's not an excuse. Pandemic, working from home. You should have more time then.
Well,
really?
No, because you're like, no, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's the smallest render part of a scene. Like, you do that as a separate pass. That takes minutes to render at that small.
Yep.
Like, you can even see the red stripe on it. Literally a converted asset where they turned one ring of geometry into a light source. That's it. Anyway.
SWTX Chaser, $3. Kevin Sorbo has to be president of the Federation.
That'd be great.
That would be good.
That would be, because he's good. I like him as an actor. That would actually be really good. I would totally watch that.
Yeah. The shuttles are really time ships, says Richard Bishop. Well, then they should all be destroyed as per the law.
or that's telling us it's telling us that it's the Doctor Who crossover, because a comedian circuit, because the Doctor thinks the Discovery shuttles in every era, because the 2 years has been and they've been there, so it must be everywhere.
Yep. Richie Appel, Lower Decks is Prime Trek, Discovery is not Prime Timeline. I would agree with you.
It is a bit weird. Because they could have included any shuttle. They could have included anything from TNG. They could have included the Argo. Hey, wouldn't it have been great, Stu, if that shuttle was actually the shuttle from Picard instead? That one we see at Planitia. Like, it's still 600 years old.
It's a better looking shuttle, for sure.
And you've got the asset. You're the same team and the same company. Your server has it. So why did you go into the old Discovery drive when you have in the future? You don't use those assets.
Because Alex Kurtzman helped design the Discovery shuttle, probably. I want that to look like that, and I want that to. Okay, I like that. That's my shuttle. I want to use that shuttle all the time now. That's what happened. Because Alex Kurtzman's an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry, no respect for that man.
We're ship guys, so obviously disrespectful ship stuff is going to obviously be called out.
Yes.
But the script was better, and I'm a script guy. So, but Stuart, I would call that a roaring success. And I'm pleased because I was not knowing where it was going to be. But do tune in for, as you guys can imagine, a ship-themed Saturday episode, another themed Sunday and Monday at the very least. We filmed that many, and I'll be filming Stuart again at some point to film more.
And we'll have a live on Tuesday, not Monday. No Monday live this next week. So
yep.
unless I go live by myself, which I might do, I might come up with a topic and talk to you guys at the regular time. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And look forward to some stuff, and then join us in for next week. I'm excited to talk about more things, and there's a few things to talk about.
Absolutely. Cool. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the super chatters. Thank you for everybody that hit like. We really appreciate all that stuff. By all means, check out our edited review if you want more summarized points.
And that was more my first reaction, so that's a little bit of a different perspective.
Yeah.
Do go check that out.
Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's very important. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Last super chat is SWTX Chaser. Congrats. Well done, you.
Last super chat slot with a great super chat comment, by the way. I love that. Kevin Serwell should show up at some point.
And good luck with a Tex Trek later on.
The
other show.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. What is Text Trek? Yeah, I'll check that out.
That's the channel. All right.
Cool.
So until then, he is Captain Foley.
I am Captain Foley in any timeline, and he is Commander Cockings, but his rank varies depending on the timeline. So.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye.